Leche. 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 Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, lead the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, April 6th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. 38 games we capped on Tuesday, and I had 16 bets. 24 games we capped yesterday, and I had 3 bets. You just take what the schedule gives you, really. And obviously, we talk about how important it is to succeed. I went 3-0 yesterday. We're having a great week. 13-6 plus 7.39 units. In baseball, we went 2-0-1, so 2-0. Raves first three minus a half cash. Raves first 5 minus 1 push, and Minnesota Miami first 5 under 3.5 was an easy casher. Raptors plus 4.5. Again, you just some of these spreads. If you can get on early, you get in, and if you can't, you let go. The Raptors were a disgrace in that basketball game. The fact that they couldn't take care of business, extremely frustrating. No Horford, no Tatum. Brogdon was by far the best player on the floor. Van Fleet was bad. There was times where our defense looked lackadaisical. Scotty Barnes needs to work on his body language after a miss. You can't just sulk and slowly run up the court. It was frustrating. Frustrating to watch the Raptors play like that. Their season's going to be over soon, and we won't need to talk about them again. But that was just awful. Fortunate to get the plus 4.5 there as they lost by 4. We're doing this is. I said it yesterday. This is our time. This for at least for me as a capper. MLB, NHL, NBA, our main focus. I expect us to succeed here, and that's exactly what we're doing. And I'm very excited. This is the most important night of the NHL season for me. I'm heavily, heavily invested. I've hit 8 of my last 10. I thought, I know I didn't make any bets yesterday, but goddamn, I kept those 3 games nice. It's okay that I didn't pull the trigger. And it's okay that I'm being tight. And when you are winning, you tighten it up a little bit. You start making smarter decisions. When you're losing, you start reaching and you start risking. And so everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. So let's get to work here. Let's get to work. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Real Deal Prime in the house. Remo shouting out Durrell, the passion play. That's what we call the passion play. Want to know what Sacramento Kings covering the 6.5? Dan Cuz says Grimes threes went over again last night. That's 4 in a row since I said it in this chat. Keep playing it until it doesn't work. Shout out to Dan Kelly. And the way you guys talked about the Pistons game, that I was just felt like I left money on the table. You guys all said it. Now that it's down to 4.5, now bet the Knicks. You guys nailed that beautifully. Viper MB going 3-0-1 yesterday. Dan Kelly says there are going to be some very good opportunities in the Masters betting after today's round because of the weather. Today's a nice day, but the weather turns bad tomorrow. Saturday could be a rain out. So Sunday, Monday are iffy. There hasn't been a Monday finish at Augusta in 40 years. So if a mutter you like, Fleetwood, Finau, Rahm, Minwoo are his 4, has a mediocre day today, jump on him live at a good price. That's beautifully put from Dan Kelly. And worth copying and pasting. Excellent stuff. All right. So Big O in the house as well. Great to see you, Big O. Dan Kelly, Jedi for Life, Jay Smooth, Rick J, Mr. Vape, D Rock, Justin McElvey, North Ender. North Ender snapped a 6-day winning streak. Yes, they lost over a unit. Nice 6-day winning streak. Let's get right back to it. Von Polo, Subhuman Gaucho, Real Deal Prime, Bo Jackson, Nasty Nate, Rocco Rogers, Archie 20, Billy Friedrich, Serious Business, Nate Dogg 420, Juan Ruiz, Matt Paulins, AOD, Banana Boat, Andre Ace High, Sammy Calmer, Razor Sharp Picks. Razor Sharp Picks, your Orioles, Texas under 7.5, ended up keeping me off of the Orioles team total. So I thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, so, this is the schedule. We have a huge NHL card. I know not all of you care about NHL, but I've invested more money in this NHL card today than in any day this year. I've hit 8 of my last 10. 6 of those 8 winners have been plus money spots. We won't be sitting here waxing poetic on these games. We're going to go very briskly through it with Mr. Gogster and I. We're going to go briskly through it, but there are 14 games. So if this is something that annoys you, if you don't want to make money on NHL, if you want to wait, don't complain in the chat. Roll up a blunt, go outside, smoke that blunt, pour yourself a coffee, and then come back. Don't complain in the chat. This is the most money I've invested all year on this NHL card. Okay. Let's bring on your guest. And yes, things have become a little more serious in this show because the stakes are high. And I almost swore there, but I'm not sure if we're 8 minutes in. Bring on your first guest from Belleville, Ontario. Ooh, dirty Belleville in the house. Please welcome Mr. Gogster to the show. Gogster, how are you?
Doing good, Jamie. I like the seriousness we got going on today. Congrats on the success. I'll be listening for sure, giving you guys some insights. Happy Masters Day to everybody in the chat as well. Let's get after this beautiful 14-game slate we got.
Let's get right after it. Ron Crawford's MLB play of the day is in. We are tracking it, ROI, average line, and everything here. So I'm just going to copy and paste this, and then Gogster and I are going to keep a brisk pace. Then Jose Bouquet and I are doing MLB. There we go. Ron is in. And then we have Brizzy, fresh off 4-0 with a plus 230 money line casher on our last Thursday show. Okay, Gogster, I'm going to start getting happier. Right now, I'm intense. I've got a lot of money invested in this card. I spent a lot of time on this card. And I'm not going to tell you I'm sitting here totally confident, but I'm seeing the ice well. Let's get to work.
That's right.
We start off at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Maple Leafs 46-21-10, 20-13-4 on the road to the Boston Bruins, 60-12-5, 31-4-3 at home. We're at TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. I have Samsonov versus Yulmark. If I've got the goalies wrong anytime, just fire in and interrupt.
Yeah.
Samsonov 25-10-4, 2.41
Time out.
Yeah.
Swayman's confirmed for Boston.
Perfect. That is what I wanted to hear. That is exactly what I wanted to hear.
Just confirmed, I believe, too.
Beautiful. So we have Swayman in between the pipes going up against Samsonov. Samsonov 25-10-4, 2.41 goals against, average 915, save percentage, 4 shutouts. The injury to Matt Murray right now, too, is a head injury. So it's the 4th injury that he's had this year. Who knows? Who knows if he's even going to play again this year?
China doll.
Simply put here, this is Toronto's daddy. We all know that. Bruins are not just playing out the string. They're 9-1-0 over their past 10. 22.5% power play, 93.3% penalty killing over that stretch. Yeah. Leafs 6-3-1, 25.9% power play, 80.8% penalty killing. The Bruins are resting players, or they have nagging injuries. Bergeron and Krejci, their top 2-line centermen, are dealing with injuries. Bergeron supposedly has an upper body injury and a lower body injury. He's missed the last 2 games. Krejci's missed the last 2 games. Pavel Zacha has been the first-line centerman with those 2 out. And they've moved Tyler Bertuzzi up to fill Zacha's spot because Zacha isn't generally a center on this team because you got Coyle as a third-line centerman. Mm-hmm. And this game is meaningless, completely meaningless in the standings. Yeah. But if Toronto is going to do anything in the playoffs, they must exercise the demons in this building. They come in off their second win in 3 games, 4-2 victory at home over Columbus on Tuesday. Now the Bruins come off their 3rd straight win, 4-3 at St. Louis in the shootout. This is, if I was coaching the Toronto Maple Leafs, we have to exercise these demons in this building. And they're missing 2 centermen. Let's just go out there and win a hockey game. I'm on the Leafs at plus 130 in this spot. They opened up at Pinnacle plus 130. It's bounced all over the place. Got up to 135. Got down to 128. It's sitting right now at 132. The total here opened up at 6 minus 1. It hasn't moved. It's a pick 'em at 6. I'm on the Leafs plus 130. Gogster, take it away.
Great breakdown, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm a similar side with you here. I'm leaning towards Toronto. Got the money line plus 132 written down here. Also, I believe the full game under would have to be live here, even with Swayman and net, Jimmy. I don't have his numbers, unfortunately, guys, but between the two goalies, Swayman at home is definitely much better, going back even a couple years. But Toronto need at least a couple points here, guys, to secure that home ice still, Jimmy. I know Tampa Bay did lose last night, which does help their case, but they have coming up in their schedule, too. I have their schedule. They have Florida, Tampa Bay, and the Rangers. So they need to get this one here against Boston. They have Boston, Montreal, Florida, Tampa Bay, and the Rangers. And those last three games are not going to be easy. So this is an important game for Toronto. I would also be leaning to the under. It's at 6 minus 108. I'm seeing first periods plus 110 to the 1.5 under. Where I'm going to go here, Jim, I'm going to do a double up in this game. I'm going to take Toronto on the money line, and I'm going to take the full game under. Full game under 6 minus 108, and Toronto on the money line plus 132. Even without Bergeron, I'm still going to believe in their power play here, or their penalty kill, Jimmy. It's sitting at 93% last 10 games. So I believe this game is going to be a tighter game for sure. It's going to be very similar to what they're going to get against Tampa Bay. I'm in complete agreement with you here, Jimmy.
Yeah, and Real Deal Prime saying, Bruins are 11-1 at home against the Islanders. Who cares? Who cares about these trends at the end of the year?
Yeah, these meaningless games that happen in the AHL. The Belleville Senators were playing the Toronto Marlies, who are an unbelievable team, number one in the whole East, and Belleville beat them 4-0. And they did lose the second game, but these meaningless games for these teams, guys, you got to really look out for. And like I said, Toronto still needs to secure the home ice, and they have a tough last three games. So this is a more important game for Toronto. And I don't think Boston, though, they're historically they're a very tough team to score on. So I don't see this game. Last two games have gone over for Boston, too. I don't see this game going over.
Razor dropping his action into his Masters action. Oh. Again, our Mr. Gogster and C-Mac, along with Cam Stewart, dropped their Masters video. It's up right now. Oh, and yes, O'Reilly is back tonight, which is an important point, especially when you're going up against a team that's missing their best two centermen. So it's an important point. So
that's another thing that's going to help. Yeah, defensively, I'll be really quick. Defensively, it's a big boost for Toronto. They want to get these last couple wins and maybe even rest some players if they can secure that home ice. So shout out to Razor too. Love the Finau pick. I'm on Finau with you there, brother.
Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern. Buffalo Sabres 37-32-7, 22-12-3 on the road at Detroit Red Wings 35-33-9, 19-15-4 at home. Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Devin Levi is listed right now. He's a great story. We all love the story. Going up against Ville Husso, 26-19-6, 2.96 goals against average, 901 save percentage, 4 shutouts. Buffalo 4-4-2 over their past 10, playing a power play 17.1%, penalty killing 76. Detroit 5-5-0, 23.1% power play, 81.8% penalty killing. Nate Dogg on the over 6.5 in Detroit. I'm on the opposite in this spot. This is the closest that these two teams are going to come to a playoff game this season. Sabres had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 2-1 loss at Florida on Tuesday. We see the way they're protecting Devin Levi. They care about this kid. Red Wings coming off their second straight win in 4th and 5 games, 5-0 at Montreal on Tuesday. Neither team's been eliminated yet. The Sabres are 6 points back with 2 games in hand and 6 games left. The Red Wings are 8 points back with 1 game in hand and 5 games left. Look, neither team's going to play in the real playoffs. But this tonight is the closest that they're going to come to a playoff game. And I think this is going to be a very tight hockey game. The line's moved. So the line was moving with me. It's not anymore. It's starting to move back to the over. I don't care. Detroit opening up at minus 106 or now minus 100. There's been a slight move towards Buffalo. From a total perspective, this was the under 6.5 got up to plus 116 at 2:13 in the morning. It's at plus 112 right now. So it basically hasn't moved at Pinnacle. It was moving at Bet365. I had to bet it at plus 110. It's back at plus 115.
Yeah.
But I think this is Mally Mal liking the over. Look, I don't think that my action is going to be popular today, and that's fine. And it doesn't, and it's okay for us to be on the other side. So that's part of the fun of what we're doing.
Yep.
But I think this is going to be a playoff type hockey game for two teams who aren't going to be in the playoffs. Take it away, Gogster.
Yeah, you know what? Detroit has been playing really well here, Jimmy. I have won 4 of the last 5, lost to Winnipeg, scoring of late. But then looking at Buffalo, too, guys, won 4 of the last 6, 2 losses to Florida and Montreal. Florida going on their playoff push here. Montreal, I guess you could say that would be a bad loss. But I would hope they go with Levy, to be honest. The team seems to really be rallying behind this guy, especially in their last win. I have Comrie expected on the one side here, Roto. Hard to say with the goaltending, but I think this is there's more of a chance, Jimmy, in my opinion. Buffalo's got a shot at this last playoff spot. I think Pittsburgh could stumble. That could be the one team. Actually, no, right as I say,
they're not in the playoffs. It's the Panthers and the Islanders.
Yeah, sorry, that's true. The Panthers and the Islanders. I think Pittsburgh can stumble. Looking at the Islanders here, yeah, it's going to be tough for both of these teams. The only thing going for Buffalo, I guess I would say, is they have more games in hand than the other teams, but they're going to need one of those top 2 teams. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to win tonight. And looking at the Islanders, though, they got Washington, Philly, and Montreal, so they've pretty much secured their spot, in my opinion, there. So in this game, though, Jimmy, I think Buffalo, I think they have a shot here. I think they're going to make a little push if they can, especially with their goaltending with Levy, even Comrie, to be honest. Houston's been okay, 3-4-1 since March. Save percentages, both these save percentages, Jimmy, are below 900. Goals against above 3. No new injuries really for both teams. I'm going to take Buffalo here, Jimmy. I know Detroit has been playing well. Husso too. He's been up and down. I do expect there to be some goals too in this game, guys, but I'm going to take Buffalo here. Minus 113 is what I have written down here.
Gogster on the Sabres. I'm going to be moving really quick, so there's stuff I'm going to miss in the chat. I definitely can't miss Rob Garvey's 27th birthday today. Happy birthday, Rob. I can tell you something that may surprise you is that it starts getting better and better. People are worried about turning 30 and that shit. Your 30s are going to be better than your 20s. Life gets better and better and better. So don't have any concern about getting older because it gets better. And then it stops getting better at some point. And I'm probably close to it, but at this point, it's still getting better. Happy birthday to Rob Garvey. Definitely going to get a birthday pick for you, Rob, my man. Billy Friedrich's absolutely right. Absolutely right. With the unknown in goal, it's uncomforting. There's no doubt about it. It's uncomforting. And I just think it's going to be a very intense hockey game. If it's not Devin Levi and Ville Husso, if it's Ned, who's looked a little better, and that happens when these young guys get to sit in the minors for a few months and understand that carry your own fucking equipment. When they get used to that for a little bit, then they start playing better. And if it's Comrie, I'm screwed. If it's Comrie, I might buy out of it. If it's Comrie, I probably buy out of it. So, that's it. Okay, let's keep rolling. Nutflush says it doesn't stop getting better. It gets even better from Nutflush.
There you go. Thank you.
Dan Kelly says he's 68, went out and played a few holes of golf yesterday. The ball went straight and far, says can't get any better than that. There's Ish, your boy in the house. Okay, let's keep rolling here. Sabres, let me just get, and there's Banana Boat. Thank you. Blessing our action with a $13.99 dono. Thank you so much for thinking of us, Banana Boat. You are a good friend, a class act, and thank you so much for the support that you're giving the show. We can get you a minus 110 at Pinnacle, so let's at least get you a minus 110 instead of the minus 113 for the Sabres. All right, let's move on. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, Ottawa Senators 37, 34, and 7, 15, 20, and 4 on the road at the Florida Panthers 40, 31, and 7, 22, and 12 for at home. Florida Live Arena in Sunrise, Florida. This is another spot where we're not entirely sure who the goaltenders are going to be. Cam Talbot, Alex Lyon, we're not. That's who I've got listed at this point, but we're not entirely sure.
We got Levy Marlian. He's the goalie for the Belleville for one game. He got the shutout against Toronto when I was at the game on Saturday. So he's going to be a net first career NHL start. He's only had one game in the NHL. So,
sorry, say that again. Who is it?
Levy Merlainen. He's going to be starting guys for the Ottawa Senators.
Okay, the Senator. Okay, sorry. Yes. Okay, keep going.
Sixth goalie they've had going. He played the one game against Toronto Marlies. Guys had the shutout. Played for the Kingston Frontenacs too. Jimmy, local guy, but actually obviously from Finland, but played a lot here in Kingston. But this is again he played one game in the NHL. Got the shutout against the Marlies. Now he's going from the OHL last year now to the NHL against the Panthers. So I think it's going to be a tough spot where these other goalies where you saw, sorry, Jimmy, Sogard, Mandalese. You also saw Ferguson come up. All those goalies they had before, guys, were at least in the AHL for at least 1 or 2 years. They had experience where this goalie they're going to have going for Ottawa, he's fresh behind the ears.
Well, we just saw that with other goalies. We just saw that with Levi. So, Merrill Linen looked great in his one start to the overtime loss. He's coming off a shutout. You know what? I tell you who I don't want. I do not want Cam Talbot in that. And that was in Carolina that he stopped. How many shots? 37 attempts, stopped 34 of them. You know what? I would prefer to have him in net. Let's just pull up quickly his numbers here in the AHL. Merrill, let's go to DB. Here we go. So this is his numbers here for the Finnish goaltender, a third-round pick in the 2020 draft for Belleville this year. So he's been in Finland all year. He's been playing 42 games for Karpat. So he's been in Finland all year. So he just came over from Finland. Now this is an unknown product here. And look, I don't want Cam Talbot in that. So I look. Let's just take a look at the line history here. But this is obviously crucial stuff. Here we go. We have move over here. My issue was Talbot, in all honesty. Florida opening up at minus 243. They're down to minus 228. So we have a legitimate move over to the Ottawa Senators with this Finnish goaltender in that. This total opened up at minus 107 to the under. It's now minus 116 to the under. I moved on the under 7, and I didn't get a good price. Look, I got minus 120. I'm on the under 7 at minus 120. That's exactly where it is at Bet365 right now. Ottawa 4-3-3 over their past 10, 31% power play, 72.4% penalty killing. Florida 6-4-0, 25% power play, 80.6% penalty killing. Senators coming off their third straight loss, 3-2 in overtime at Carolina on Tuesday. 3 of their last 4 games have gone to overtime. They're 6 points out of a playoff spot with 4 games left. I just said this in the Detroit-Buffalo game. But this game here tonight is the closest the Senators will get to a playoff game all year. You have Brady Tkachuk going up against his brother Matthew Tkachuk. These teams just played each other in a 5-2 Senators win where Matthew Tkachuk was held off the score sheet. Shabbat made a spectacular play. Remember, there's no Shabbat, there's no Chikrin. They're playing much more defensive hockey. Panthers coming off their 4th straight win, 2-1 at home over the Sabres on Tuesday. What's happening? They're playing strong defensive hockey, and Maurice is demanding it. Florida's tied with the Islanders for the final 2 wildcard spots with the Penguins 1 point back. And Florida Live Arena is going to be sold out. They're selling out all of these games right now. Things have changed at Sunrise or Florida Live or whatever. So that's it. I'm on the under 7 at minus 120 in Ottawa, Florida. Gogster, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you know what, Jim? You convinced me. Looking at our goalie here, Levy, I'm just going to call him by his first name here. The one start, guys, he played against Carolina. Carolina's a great hockey team, too. Expected goals, Jimmy, against was 4.9. He allowed 3, went to overtime, got peppered, too, with how many shots? 37 shots on goal, like you're saying there, 34 saves. You know what? That's a great sign. And with the implications of this hockey game, Leon has not looked nearly as bad too. I'd rather Leon. He's confirmed too. Alex Leon's confirmed. So I'm on board with the under with you, Jimmy. I kind of want to do a double down, but I'll take. Would you get? Is under 7 still available?
It is, and you can get a better line than I got. You can get minus. There's minus 116 at Pinnacle. I love the Pinnacle's moving this towards the over. JPC, I'll answer your question here in a second. Here, but let's move over.
Yeah,
here.
The only thing is, like, they've called up this Tyler Clevin, Jimmy. He came up from North Dakota. He was actually just playing there during the season. He's played 2 games. He's had 2 assists, 2 points in 4 games. So he doesn't have as much experience, though, because they've lost a couple of defensemen, as you guys know. Shabbat's out. Who else is out? Chychrun, and also Hamonic. Looks like he's not going to be in. So they've called up Jacob Bernard Docker as well.
Don't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Don't make any mistakes when you come up to the show. Now, you can get off this. By the way, it's all the way up to minus 125 at most books right now. You can get minus 116. You can get off this. Don't pressure. No pressure. There's 14 games. But there is one rule when you come up from the minors and you're a defenseman. Don't make any mistakes. And so you're not going to be pinching. You're not going to be pinching. You're going to be dumping it deep every chance you get.
Yeah.
So
he's had a couple chances too, Jimmy. He's been bouncing back and forth. So he's been he's excelled a lot here in Belleville the last couple of weeks, maybe even a month. So it's been several times he's been back and forth. So he's definitely been learning the ropes of this. You know what my gut's kind of telling me here, guys? This might be a gut play, but you know what? The overtime, Jimmy, I think it could be live again here.
Ottawa's played 3 of their last 4 games. 3 of the last 4 games have gone to overtime. But we got to make some moves here. So do you want to hold off and think?
You know what? I'm pretty hesitant on this game, guys. I'm going to hold off on the 7. Just the defense is very very young. You got a fresh goalie here too. Because I'm going to hold off on this game. I kind of want to see it. Maybe I'll do a live bet, Jimmy. But yeah, I'll hold off on this game. I'm going to root your under. I'll root it up.
JPC, nobody cares about the record because of overtime, 3-on-3 and shootout points. So,
sorry,
nobody's comparing. Oh, just wondering if the Bruins care about the record. Nobody's ever going to compare the Bruins to that Habs team that what they won. They lost what? I forget how many games they lost in regulation, but it was single digits of 5. Did they lose 5 games? So it's just not a big deal. It just doesn't care that much. So no, and that's why Bergeron and Krejci are being rested right now. It's not important.
They've already broke the record too, Jimmy, for the year for their team too. Last time they had this many wins and points was 71 with Orr. So
and that 71 team they're never going to be compared to. Now, that was a 6-team. It wasn't 6-team league. That's when we moved to 12. But we'll talk about that later. Okay, let's move on here. But it doesn't matter. It's not important. A Wild Hound in the house. He's making moves over at Monagas versus Boca Juniors in the Copa Libertadores. Thank you for sharing that with us, Wild Hound. All right, let's keep rolling. Next up, 7 p.m. Eastern, Washington Capitals, 34-34-9, 17-19 and 3 on the road at the Montreal Canadiens, 30-42 and 6, 16-20 and 3 at home at Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec. Darcy Kemper and Sammy Montembeault are listed. Interrupt me if I'm wrong. Kemper, 21, 25 and 6, 2.79 goals against average, 9-10 save percentage, 5 shutouts. He's been okay against the in front of a below average or behind the below average hockey team. Montembeault, 15, 16 and 3, 3.29 goals against average, 906 save percentage, no shutouts. Washington 2-6 and 2 over the past 10, 27.6% power play, 80% penalty killing. Montreal 3-7 and 0, 25% power play, 76.7% penalty killing. Let's go over to the line history here on this one. We have the Capitals with no movement, none, 0 movement. Minus 160, they're opening. That's where they are right now. Totals wise, it's opened up at 6.5 as a pick'em. There's almost been no movement there. So both teams are coming off 4 straight losses. But something happens when you go to Montreal. And it doesn't matter if you're out of the playoffs, if whatever, it's a special place to play. Now, we're not talking about the Forum. We're talking about the Bell Center, but it's a special place to play. You look up at all the banners. The place is steeped in history. You have Ovechkin going for the goal record, and the Capitals are going to play here. I don't know what the Habs are going to do, but the Capitals are going to play hard here. Oshie and Van Riemsdyk are out with upper body injuries. Habs' 4th straight loss came on Tuesday in a 5-0 setback at home to Detroit. 2nd straight game they've been shut out. They've been outscored 13-2 through the first 3 games of this 4-game homestand. I'm on the Washington Capitals -1. Ovechkin in Montreal will keep his team accountable, and I have no idea what's going to happen with the Habs. I'm on the Capitals -1. I got +102, a -160 money line, and a +165 puck line. The floor is yours. Stimio G is on the Habs, and I get. Look, this is again. I knew that my picks were not going to be popular here today. Take it away, Gogster. Floor is yours. Capitals, Habs.
I love the confidence, Jimmy, behind all your picks here today. Washington, Montreal. I don't have much on this game, to be honest. Both of these teams don't have much to play for, but those losses, only 2 wins in the last 10 games for Washington. So they definitely, like Jimmy says, they want to finish strong here. Ovechkin going for some records as well still. 4 of the last 4, 2 from Montreal. They've lost. Detroit, Carolina, Florida, Philadelphia. Injuries keep piling up too here, Jimmy. I have Jordan Harris, Kirby Dach, and also Harvey Pinard are day-to-day now. So I would – that's lineup –
Jonathan Maltese' cousin.
Who's that? Sorry.
Harvey Pinard.
Is it really?
Wow, he has been awesome.
I've seen him play a lot of times in Belleville there.
He's got the sniper. That kid, there's certain players that you watch on the ice, you're like, I don't know if he's got it. But, this kid's
Harvey
got
Pinard.
it.
Yeah, Harvey Pinard. No, I've seen him play.
That's dope, Jonathan.
That's awesome, John. Yeah, great skater, smart, good hockey sense out there. But yeah, I believe if you can give him a text or let me know if he's in or out. But I think he's going to be out there, Harvey Pinard. I do like that +102 you got on Washington too, Jimmy. I'm going to stay off it, but I would definitely be leaning towards Washington. And just looking at Montembeault here, he is 3-4-1 since March 1st, but he's got a .908 save percentage. So the save percentage is he's just getting peppered with pucks. That's the problem. 3.24 goals against. So they're just not getting the scoring. And I don't think Montreal's going to be able to keep up with Washington here, despite Washington not scoring of late. So
there's something about Montreal. There's something about Montreal that just you step on the ice, you see the banners, and Ovechkin's going for the goal record. Like it's going to be sold out. There's something about this place to play, and I expect them to go. And man, Harvey Pinard, he's real. Like you see it on the ice. Like some guys just have it. They know how to score. They know how to get in the dirty areas. They show they're fearless. You have every right to be very, very proud, Jonathan. And I'm excited to watch the young man's career. You don't see a lot of 7th-round pick. To make it as a 7th-round pick in this league, you have to have the biggest heart. Well, the most character on the team.
Where do you think he's from? The heart of Quebec, like right in the middle of Quebec here, guys. So yeah, it's I could be pronouncing it wrong. Sugani. But he's right in the heart of Quebec. So that's where hockey's.
How many? We'd go over the percentages, and we'll do that another time. I'll probably do that on my own time. But of the 7th-round picks, I mean, one forward will play 50 games in the NHL.
And it's usually the size too. It's always the 7th rounders. They think, it's the size. So that's kind of where I feel like they get pushed back so far. But yeah.
Okay, we got to keep rolling. We move on to MLB after this with Jose Bouquet. But we got a lot of games here to go in NHL. And we're going to keep a brisk pace. 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Columbus Blue Jackets 24-45-8, 9-24-6 on the road at the New Jersey Devils 49-21-8, 22-13-4 home. We're at Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Is it going to be Jet Greaves again? Is it going to be Michael Hutchinson? I did think about the Blue Jackets in the first period. I thought about it. Vitek Vanacek, 31-11-4, 2.49 goals against average, 909 save percentage, 3 shutouts. It's a little different here in New Jersey. Greaves grew up cheering for the Leafs. Got to make his NHL debut against the Leafs.
I don't know if it's I don't think it's Greaves, Jim. He just played here in Belleville last night. He had a shutout.
Okay. So. Oh, wow. Shutout then. So then it's probably going to be Hutchinson, who's absolutely atrocious. And then if it's Hutchinson, I can't.
Or Mers Lincolns. He's been hurt all year. If he goes, I'm not too high.
But he's hurt still, I believe.
He is day-to-day. So I don't know if he's coming back. He's been coming in and out like a yo-yo up and down.
So the Devils are 5-4-1, 21.7% power play, 85.2% penalty killing over the past 10. They're not playing very good hockey. Jackets coming off their 5th loss in 6 games, 4-2 at Toronto on Tuesday. Devils coming off their 3rd win in 4 games, 5-1 at home versus Pittsburgh on Tuesday. Look, we were all over the Devils in that spot. They'd just been embarrassed by the Jets. They're playing against the division rival. Here, I don't know if they're going to have intensity. Devils are 3 points back of the Hurricanes with 4 games left, and Carolina has a game in hand. I'm sure they've let that go, but they're going to keep trying. I have no move on this spot. Let's just take a look at the line history here for this one. We have a big move towards the Devils, a 32-cent move opening up at minus 387, now minus 419. And from a totals perspective, this opened up at 7, minus 112 to the under, now minus 118 to the under, 6-cent move to the under. I've got no action here. Take it away, Gogster.
So, yeah, and this one here, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I saw Cameron Young leading the Masters. We got Cameron Young, Jimmy, at 30-1. So, first round leader, I think 35. Keeping her to the hockey here, though. Just looking at the lineup here, because they played their farm team, Jimmy, Cleveland Monsters, are playing back-to-back here in Belleville, Wednesday, Saturday. They got a lot of their big names here in Cleveland. They got Felix Wolenski, Trey, 64 goal scorer. They also got their big defenseman, I'm going to butcher his name, Juracek. He's down. They got Cole Singinger. They also sent back Carson Meyer. So they've sent back a lot of their bigger names that were kind of, other than Marchenko, who's still up with the team. They don't have a lot of offense. I know Johnny Gaudreau's there. Laine's still out. Defensively, they're just banged up as all hell. I think they're trying to go for dead last, to be honest, because there's 3 teams, Jimmy, that are tied right now. It's Anaheim, Columbus, and San Jose are all tied for 56. So I think all those teams are going to just want to keep losing to try to get the best percentage for Bedard. So I think Columbus has nothing here to play for. The Devils too. They got to keep winning because the Rangers are also winning, so they want that home ice. Give me the Devils, guys. Throw them in a money line parlay. I know it's minus 390, but the puck line probably should hit as well. What I'm also going to add, almost forgot. Sorry, Columbus, Jimmy, team total under 2.5, minus 135. I don't see Columbus scoring 3 goals in this game. Give me that as well, guys. Moneyline parlay. It's going to be the first leg. The Devils, excuse me, and Columbus team total under 2.5 is going to be played at minus 135. Jimmy,
let's lock you in there. Rocco has the gift that keeps giving at great prices. The Rocco special. Any opposing team first period team total over 1.5 against the Blue Jackets. He's on the Devils first period team total over 1.5 at plus 145. Look, I get it, especially with Hutchinson and net, as we think he will be there.
Just from seeing that lineup, Jimmy, it really kind of sold me here. A lot of their big names are not with their team anymore. They're here in Belleville, so should be a good game Saturday. I'll be going to it again. But yeah, like Carson Meyer, Felix Wolenski, those are 2 guys that produce some offense, young names, and even David Juracek. He's a defenseman that they want to at least, I would think, see what they have, but they're playing for nothing. So same with Cleveland.
And Billy Friedrich liking your spot there on the team total under 2.5. BJ, I've copied and pasted your basketball action and your baseball action. We will discuss it when we get there. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. This is a double up spot for me. Minnesota Wild 44-23-10, 20-12-6 on the road. Pittsburgh Penguins 44-23-10, 20-12-6 on the road. PPG Paints Arena, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Marc-Andre Fleury returning to face his former team. Is that being confirmed?
Yeah, I have Fleury. Yeah, I'm more likely than not. He's been 6-1-1 since March. I would think he's going here, Jim.
Coming home to face his former team, and he's improved as the season gone on. So is the whole Wild team. They've been very impressive. 24-14-4 as Fleury, 2.8, 2 goals against average, 9-10 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Tristan Jarry has been playing better, a little better at times. He's hard to trust. Look, I get it. He's hard to trust. Minnesota 6-2-2 over their past 10, 18.5% power play, 77.4% penalty killing. Pittsburgh 4-6-0, 16.7% power play, 69.7% penalty killing. W. Arthur loving the Wild. Clint saying step on their throat time. Wild playing really good. Pens falling apart. No team with Sidney Crawford. Jesus Christ. How fucked up am I, man? God, I'm too Sidney Crawford. Jesus, that's gonna stick with me. That one's gonna hurt. That one's bad. That one's really bad.
All right, we're good.
There's the Butt Pod. Brent Butt in the house says, "Teach me, Tiger." Okay, let's keep rolling here. I just called Sidney Crosby Sidney Crawford, so that's not the way I wanted to get this rolling. Okay, let's keep rolling here, Gogster. So look, any team with Sidney Crosby on it is not going to fall apart. They're not going to fall apart. First off, okay. So Wild coming up being swept in a home-and-home series against the Knights. I needed them to get one win so badly. They were incapable of doing it. They lost 4-1 at Vegas on Saturday and 4-3 in the shootout home on Monday. The Avs, the Stars, and the Wild are all tied with 98 points, with the Avs holding a game in hand on both teams. They're still without Kirill Kaprizov, superstar, and they're waiting for Gustav Nyquist to make his debut with the team after he got picked up at the trade deadline. He was injured. They knew he was injured. Penguins coming off their second loss in 3 games, 5-1 at the Devils on Tuesday. They are 1 point behind both the Islanders and the Panthers for the 2 wildcard spots. The Pens are currently on the outside looking in. Each team has 4 games left. They're still without Jan Ruda, Marcus Pettersson, and Dmitry Kulikov. with lower body injuries, and Nick Bonino is out with an abdomen injury. So let's just touch on the line movement. And I do not think, I truly, and look at this, could be a vividness bias or whatever you want to call it, but I think Pittsburgh is going to be dangerous in these last 4 games. I'm not betting them to win here. I'm not, and I can understand people being confident in the Wild. I'm certainly not confident in the Wild, but I know that this is going to be a playoff type hockey game where there's a Wild team that will continue to have difficulty scoring until Kaprizov comes back. And I know when he first got hurt, they were lighting up the net, but that's just not going to continue to happen, especially when everything's on the line for the Penguins. The total is not moved. 6 juice to the over has not moved. And I am on not only the full game under 6, but at this point, possibly my best bet of the day. And I'll figure out if it is going to be the birthday pick for Rob, but is the first period under 1.5 at +115. Take it away for us, Gogster. Floor is yours. Wild Penguins.
Yeah, I like your look to the under there, Jim. Only worry is it's just been the inconsistency of Yari, man. He did 4-5-1 since March 1st. Save percentage 8.77. Fleury, he is confirmed too. 6-1-1, Jimmy. 9.28 save percentage. The goaltending they're getting from Gustafsson and Fleury is just, you know what? It can maybe take them farther than people are going to think in the playoffs. They're tied for first, guys. 98 points. It's with them, Colorado, and Dallas. So this is definitely a game Minnesota want. They want to get that first place, in my opinion, Jimmy. Actually, let me just see that really quickly. So if they do get first here, they would be playing the wild card. So they would be, I think, you want to avoid Dallas or the Wild. Like, you want to avoid playing any of those 3 teams. I would rather the 4 seed. So a lot to play for, in my opinion, here, guys, for the Wild. Defensively, they're coming off those 2 back-to-back losses to Jim to Vegas, the Wild. So I like your underplay there. I had 6.5 -128 written down, but if I'm getting +120 still on Minnesota, I'm going to have to take that. I think they're not going to. I don't see them losing 3 games in a row here. The inconsistency from Pittsburgh, either win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Now they are coming off a bad 5-1 loss, so I think the under is definitely in play here, Jimmy. You know what? I'm going to take that too. I'm going to do a double up here. I'm taking Minnesota, guys, +120, and I'll take that under with you too, Jimmy. What's the best number you got, brother?
You can get a +105. Which is 10 cents better than I got. You get under 6 at +105 at Pinnacle. And the Wild money line as your best spot here is a +120 at Heritage and 5 dimes. So we'll give you that as well. You are locked in there. Locked in. So let's keep rolling. I know we're keeping a brisk pace, and we need to keep a faster pace, but with Matty Ice in the house off to a 2-0 start, let's give him a shout out as the winner of our bracket contest, getting paid here $14.40 American for his troubles.
It's a lot of Canadian.
Endebo $7.20 and Birdie in 3rd place at $2.40 plus $2.40 American, and that money will be out in your PayPal's by Friday. So thank you guys, and great job, Matty Ice. Congratulations and great job. Okay, let's move on here to the next spot on the board. So I was right about the total soaring over in the Lightning Rangers game last night. What I didn't figure was the intensity in the game. Now, it wasn't defensive intensity, and it wasn't coaches needing to put the right people on the ice at the right time, and the top players getting 25 minutes, the top defenseman getting 30 minutes. It was nothing like that. But they don't like each other, and there was fights nonstop. There was hard hits. There was beating at each other, and that surprised me. I'm fading both of those teams tonight in meaningless hockey games for them. Tampa Bay Lightning 45-26 and 6-18, 19-1 on the road to the New York Islanders 39-39, 22-13 and 3 at home at UBS Arena, Elmont, New York. Brian Elliott between the pipes. Look, he's a good character guy, but hopefully he doesn't have to be between the pipes for a second of the playoffs. 891 save percentage in front of behind this great hockey team. Ilya Samsonov 28-21-7, 2.40. Sorry, it is Samsonov. 2.40 goals against average, 923. Is it Sorokin? It's Sorokin.
Yeah, Sorokin.
Yeah, I don't know why I was sitting there saying, what am I doing wrong here? Here's Sorokin.
Ilya. They're both named Ilya.
Yeah. Tampa Bay 5-5-0 over their past 10, playing at a pace pace. Geez, 25% power play, 78.8% penalty killing. New York Islanders 5-4-1, 9.5% power play, 70% penalty killing. So let's just take a look at the line history here. And if you are questioning anyone back in the Islanders, look, I get it. I get it. They opened up at minus 118. They're now minus 141. Whew. Jesus. I got them at minus 120, and that was a bad line at the time. I got them on the minus 1 line at plus 141. Wow, we have a huge move towards the New York Islanders. I like it. I like it a lot. Lightning have nothing to play for. They're locked in the third in the Atlantic. The Islanders come off their second straight loss, 2-1 at Carolina. They lost 5-0 at Tampa on Saturday night. They're tied with the Panthers, 1 point up on the Penguins for the final wildcard spot. This is a huge, huge hockey game for them. And the Lightning don't care. I'm on the Islanders, and the books are scared. Take it away, Gogster.
Yeah, this is a minus 115, guys. That's what I was gonna about give out, but now it's up to minus 130. So that's pushing the envelope just a bit, Jimmy. I'm trying to see this still a current line here at Bet Rivers here, minus 130. So I'll take the Islanders here. Yeah, back to back with Elliott too. I do think they're gonna play a little bit better defensively. I could see this game going under because they just got rocked by the Rangers the first period there. I don't see them get at least playing a good first period, but it's a really important game, guys, for the Islanders. They got Philly, Washington, Montreal. They just need to kind of win, I'd say, 3 of the last 4, and they should definitely be in the playoffs. Ramonov, whatever you want to call him, he's day to day. Lost the last 2 to Tampa Bay and Carolina. 4-0-1 to the under as well. The New York Islanders are, guys. So I'm gonna take the Islanders, Jimmy, minus 130, and I'm just trying to find what the Tampa Bay team total under would be. I think that would be live here, 2.5. You know what? Sign me up there, Jack. Plus 105, Jimmy. Under 2.5. Lightning team total under. I'll take that.
Team total under 2.5 at plus 105. All right, let's keep rolling right now, and Tommy didn't just say this, everyone picking the Islanders, don't love that. Don't worry. The public is not. It's going to be us that's all over the Islanders. I'm not going to bother looking, but you know what? I will just for you, just to prove. Now, I haven't looked. I don't care where the money is in NHL. But here we go with the Islanders game. We have 74% of the tickets on the Islanders. We're not talking 90. All right, so look, and if you watched that hockey game between the Rangers and Lightning last night, I was licking my chops to fade them both. We move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, Carolina Hurricanes 50, 18-9, 23, 8-6 on the road. Nashville Predators 39, 30-8, 2014-4, Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, Tennessee. Frederick Anderson, I've listed. Don't know if he's going to be in between the pipes. UC Saros on the other side. Yeah. UC Saros. Oh, and by the way, Billy Friedrich finding that at plus 115 at Bookmaker, so we'll give you that plus 115 on the team total under.
Oh, beauty. Thanks, brother.
So the Hurricanes coming off their third straight win, 3-2 at home over Ottawa in overtime on Tuesday night. They're 3 points up on the Devils for the Metro Crown with the game in hand. They're going to get it. The Predators come in off their second win in 3 games, 3-2 in overtime at home over Vegas on Tuesday. There is no team that's impressed me as much. Maybe the Bruins going 9-1 when they have nothing really to play for. But the Predators are very much alive in the playoff race. You get Duchesne and Johansson out of the room. Get them out of the room now. Obviously, they want Yossi on the ice. They lose 3 or 4 cents. What's happening is their AHL players and their young players are staking a claim that this is our team moving forward and get those high-priced bums out.
The Milwaukee Admirals they're a top team too in the AHL too, Jimmy.
So the Predators right now are 3 points back of the Jets and Flames, who are tied for the final spot. They're 3 points back, 1 game in hand on the Jets and 2 games in hand on the Flames. So, look, I'm on the Nashville Predators in this game. I do not see this as an important spot for the Hurricanes. I think that they know that it's pretty much clinched. But the market is moving pretty briskly away from me, and I probably should have waited if this was my plan. Nashville opened up at plus 147. They're now plus 167. I got in Nashville at plus 150. I'd like to see what Bet365 has Nashville right now. They're not showing me. That's fine. So there's been a 20-cent move towards the Hurricanes on the road, and total-wise, it's opened up at 5.5, and it really hasn't moved at all. Look, I believe in what I'm seeing from the Nashville Predators, and I'm moving on them here. So take it away, Gogster. Hurricanes, Predators.
Yeah, this one's going to be a real tough game, I think, Jimmy. Here, I have actually pretty cool play in this game. I think because with Carolina, they're still not completely in that number one seed yet, Jim. 3 points back are the Devils.
Yeah, but they have a game in hand.
They do have a game in hand, which helps. But just looking at their schedule for Carolina, they got Ottawa, who's they're going to play hard, Buffalo, and then Florida with Detroit mixed in. So not the easiest of schedules. But then looking at Nashville, it doesn't get any easier. They got Winnipeg after this. Calgary, Minnesota, and Colorado. Now go and I like again, Colorado and Minnesota are playing for that number one seed still. They're all tied at 98 with Dallas. So I really think this game is going to be really tight. I think it's going to be a tight game. Both these teams are pretty damn good defensively too, Jimmy. Looking at their penalty kills really quickly, 85%, 79. Power plays are only 16%. So I would lean to the under, but I'm going to take first period draw plus 165 here, Jimmy. I'm going to trust Anderson and Saros in the first period, 0-0, 1-1 kind of first period here, in my opinion. So plus 165, a little less than what it usually is. Usually it's about plus 175. So I'll take it plus 165 still. Some money, I guess, has came in on that. I expect this to be a real tight game here, Jimmy. Could even be overtime.
All right, let's keep rolling. The pace is good enough, but we need to speed it up a little bit more. Again, MLB next with Jose Bouquett, and then NBA with Billy Brisbane, who's fresh off sweeping the board last week, 4-0 plus 5.3 units. Next up for us, New York Rangers, 45-21-11, 23-9-7 on the road. St. Louis Blues, 36-35-7, 17-6-6 at home. We're at Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. If you've already heard me speaking of what happened last night in Rangers Lightning, you'll know that I'm going to be on the St. Louis Blues this evening. Let's pull up the line history here in this spot. The Blues have been playing well. They haven't lost in regulation in their last 5 home games. Let's see what we have offered here. This is thankfully the line not moving against me. Line's not moving at all. So it's not moving at all. Rangers did open up at 7:57 this morning, minus 164. They're now minus 160. I got in at plus 145. Pinnacle's hanging at plus 144 right now. Totals wise, it's opened up at 6.5, minus 113 to the over. It's now minus 117 to the over. In terms of, it's disappointing watching Shane Wright play out there. I hear you. Mike M says, love this over. New York does their part and the Blues off a stinker. That's a very interesting way of looking at it. And maybe I missed that. Halak is in net for the Rangers. I don't trust him. Binnington's in net for the Blues. Don't trust him. Rangers 7-2-1 over the past 10, 22.6% power play. The St. Louis penalty kill over the last 10 games is down to 59.4%. But they're 6-2-2 over this past 10. Rangers on the second half, we talked about it. They're 3 points back of the Devils for their second seed in the Met, with each team having 4 games left. Patrick Kane and Jacob Trouba are day-to-day with injuries. I expect other players are going to sit tonight. St. Louis snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 4-2 win at home over the Flyers on Tuesday. As I said, 3-0-2 over the last 5 at home, and they're playing without first-line center Robert Thomas, who is dealing with an upper body injury. There's our guy Kyle Hintley in the house. Take it away here for us, Gogster. Rangers, Blues.
Yeah, just trying to look really quickly here at Hartford, what they've been doing of late. They haven't recalled really anybody. So what I'm thinking in this game, Jimmy, you have 2 teams that, especially the St. Louis guys, 7 of their last 8 have gone over the total. Losses against Boston, Nashville, and the LA Kings. This is a pretty heavy over team, in my opinion, Jimmy. St. Louis right now, especially with their goaltender in Binnington. Trouba and Kane are day-to-day, but there's still enough offense on both of these sides. What I'm going to do here, actually, is I'm going to take a first period, both teams to score in this game. It should be a good plus 150 around that number. I'll take a look at it quick, Jimmy. But with the coming off that loss, too, for St. Louis, back-to-back for the Rangers, I would worry about them late. But I think early you can get a goal apiece for both of these teams. And the number here, I'll just find it for you in a second, Jimmy. But I think we can get some goals here. I definitely wouldn't want an under in this hockey game.
That's a very interesting look to the over. I think you guys nailed it. I think that I just missed it. So it looks like that will be my first addition to the card here. I agree that both teams will help. The Rangers power play is going to score. We know that. Gogster, what's your first period? Both teams to score. We got to keep moving.
So both teams first period, both teams to score. I'm seeing plus 135. So we'll take that still, Jimmy. I like the plus at least over 130. So plus 135, guys. Both teams to score. Rangers and Blues.
Let's keep rolling. Now we're going to come up to a spot where I have 2 puck lines. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Flyers 29-35-13, 12-18-8 on the road. Dallas Stars 42-21-14, 19-10-9 at home. We're at American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Carter Hart is day-to-day with a lower body injury. He was listed on most of the sites. I do not expect him between the pipes tonight. Is he not listed anymore?
No, I'm seeing Felix Sandstrom. Let's just see. Yeah, Felix Sandstrom is expected to go.
Felix Sandstrom has been better than his numbers indicate. So it's not like he's just this sieve in net. But he's not as good as Hart. Jake Ottinger has been confirmed. There is so much on the line for this Dallas Stars squad. So much on the line for Dallas here tonight. Let's take a look at the line history here on this one. We have Dallas opening up minus 251. They're now minus 262, an 11-cent move towards them. Totals wise, it's opened up at 6, minus 113 to the over. That's where it stands right now. I moved on the Dallas Stars on the puck line here. They haven't been playing very well. 5-4-1 over the past 10. Their power play's been good. Penalty has been good. The Robertson, Rupee Hintz, Pavelski line is just not scoring as much, but they're still scoring as a team. Flyers coming off their 4th straight loss, 4-2 at St. Louis on Tuesday. Stars coming off their 3rd win in 4 games, 5-1 at home over Nashville on Monday. They're tied atop the Central with the Wild and the Avalanche at 98 points, with the Avalanche holding a game in hand on both squads. Mikey M says Torts loves the spoiler spot. It's in his DNA. Yeah, but he's wearing a suit. Take it away here, Gogster, Flyers, Stars.
Yeah, in this game here, guys, Sandstrom, he's had a couple good starts of late. It was against Montreal. He only two goals against Jimmy, 1 against Carolina. But then other than that, the Islanders, Colorado, Winnipeg, Seattle, about 10 teams, he's allowed at least 3 goals or more, usually about 4 goals. So I think Dallas is going to be able to do what they want here. I had a moneyline parlay, guys, top of the show. I had the Devils in it. We're going to add the Dallas Stars in this moneyline parlay as well, Jimmy. And I got one more team coming up for a 3-team banger for y'all. So Dallas, as much as Philly wants to play spoiler, I don't think they have much left in the tank. Lost their last 4 games, and allowed at least 4+ goals defensively. They've been really bad. And like I said, Dallas, they're tied with Minnesota, guys, in Colorado for first place in the Central. So plenty to play for here still for Dallas, and nearly nothing for Philadelphia. So give me Ottinger and the Dallas Stars, guys, here. Moneyline parlay.
Let's keep rolling. Next spot for us, 10 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Blackhawks 25-46 and 6, 11-24 on the road. At the Canucks 34-36 and 7, 17-22 at home. If I had known that, and I probably should have put it together, but if I had known earlier that Markstrom was going back to back and that Sutter was just going to stick with the person who's getting paid, I would have realized. And Markstrom has a really nice history, especially when he was in Vancouver, of playing the second half of the back-to-back, or playing both halves of the back-to-back. I would have been on the Flames last night. The only reason why I was scared was because Dan Vladar had played 1 of the last 17 games for the Flames.
Yeah.
I do not believe – we know the Jekyll and Hyde Flames. We know that they can't be trusted, but, you don't want to fade them against a good team. We know that situation. Here, I don't care that the Blackhawks snapped their 8-game losing streak with a 4-3 win at Calgary on Tuesday. In fact, I like it, because I'm getting a better line on the Vancouver Canucks on the puck line here with Demko back between the pipes. I'm not sure if it's going to be Mrazek. I don't know who is going to be in net for Chicago.
Stalock listed.
Stalock has been better, but Mrazek has been slightly improved over the last little while. Nate Dogg looking at the over in this spot. Let's just discuss the line history here quickly. We have the Knuckleheads opening up at minus 210. They're now minus 228. They got up to minus 244. So maybe that 34-cent move was too much, maybe. So it's come back a little bit. Totals wise, it's opened up at 6.5. There's been a slight move to the under. I can completely understand Nate Dogg wanting the over and liking the over. My concern is I'm not sure if the Blackhawks are going to score enough goals here. That's all. That's my concern. That's the only reason why I didn't bet it. Billy Fraser said Chicago needs to get back to that number 1 Bedard slot. This is the Canucks, 4 games lost in a row. Rick Tocchet called them out again. He called out JT Miller for going right to the dressing room after missing a breakaway. He called out the body language. He's calling out players to step up here at the end of the season. He's calling them all out for not being prepared when he gave them a day off before the Kraken game. He's calling them out again. If they're going to beat the Blackhawks, I think they're going to beat them badly. I got the puck line at plus 110. Take it away, Gogster.
Yeah, accountability. I like that. That's what he's preaching there in Vancouver. I think that's what they needed. I didn't have this. Originally, Jimmy, I did have actually Vancouver in a moneyline parlay. I had it as 4, but I took it out. You're really convinced me, though, with Vancouver. Chicago, they did have that 1 win, but looking before that, guys, they haven't had a single win in the last 8 games. Only thing with Vancouver, Jimmy, what do you think of the injuries, though, with no Wolainen, Juleson, Hornick, and Polznik? I can't pronounce it.
Podkolzin. We've been dealing with that. All year.
What about on defense?
Hughes is going to play 28 minutes of the game. Roenick's going to play 25. No, 28's much, but Roenick and Hughes are going to play an enormous amount. So I have no real concern at all.
Is Roenick in?
I expected him to be in. Do you have him out?
I had him day to day, just day to day with Juleson and Wolainen.
Oh, he's done. They're saying he's done. They're
Yeah.
saying he's done. Okay, I missed that. So his shoulder is a real problem.
So that was the only thing kind of holding me back. But can Chicago really keep up with Vancouver here? And the biggest thing that really is making me go back to Vancouver here is that Demko didn't play last game. They lost 5-2 to Seattle, and it was Delia.
And they were up 2-0 after the first period, and Tocchet is just laid into them.
Because you know why I bet, Jim? Because that's what they did at the beginning of the year, man. They were always up that 2-0 in first period, then they just blow the game halfway through and you just see it happening in front of your eyes. So Tocchet, I bet you he saw that on his panel throughout the year and says, enough of that shit. You're doing that all beginning of the year. So I like the bounce back here. I'm going to add this in. There's going to be a 4-team moneyline parlay. So far, the Devils, Dallas, and we're adding Vancouver here. And I got one more. You guys can probably guess who it is coming up.
Okay, let me just lock that in for you. You were adding the knuckleheads.
Yeah.
You're adding the knuckleheads so you got Stars, Nucks, Devil, Stars, Nucks. Okay, we got to speed this up. Almost baseball time here for us on the show. We are almost done this card. Next up is the most important game on the slate. Look, I've let go really of the Oilers winning the division. If you're watching them play right now, they're playing perfect playoff hockey. Absolutely perfect. I'm very excited that I have futures on them. I think that they're clearly the best team in the Western Conference to me.
Yeah.
But I would like a chance at winning the division. That would mean a ton. And this is a huge game between the Kings and the Knights. Right now, we have them all sitting. Well, the Knights are at 104. The Oilers are at 103. The Oilers only have 3 games left. The Knights have 4 games left, and the Kings are at 100. We have Korpisalo going up against Laurent Brossoit. That's what's listed. I'm not sure if that's the case. Kings 6-3-1 over their past 10, 27.6% power play, 70% penalty killing. Vegas 6-2-2, 14.8% power play, 58.3% penalty killing. So at this point, you have to think that the Kings know they'll probably have to get through Vegas if they want to, make a real run. The Vegas thinks I probably got to have to get through the Kings if they want to make a run. If you've been watching the Kings, they've been playing extremely defensive hockey right now. They come in off a hard-fought 3-1 loss at home to Edmonton on Tuesday that snapped their modest 2-game winning streak. If you're watching the Vegas Golden Knights play, their penalty killing is a huge issue. Their special teams are a huge issue. Shea Theodore not in the lineup right now, and of course Mark Stone out of the lineup. William Carrier out of the lineup as well. The Kings coming off a hard-fought 3-1 loss at home to Edmonton on Tuesday. Snapped their modest 2-game winning streak. Fiala, Viardi, and Alex Edler are all day-to-day with injuries. Knights also had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 3-2 overtime loss in Nashville on Tuesday. The side is difficult here, but this is a playoff game. And I'm on the first period under 1.5 at plus 115, and I'm on the under 6 at minus 110. Let's just take a quick look at the line history and then hand it over to Gogster. And here we go. We have the Knights opening up at minus 125 and now minus 116. That gives me hope. I mean, clearly I need the Kings to win. I need the Kings to win in regulation. And then total-wise, we have it opening up minus 117 to the under, and there's been a big move to the over. There's been a big move to the over here, a 13-cent move to the over. And, it is what it is. I'm on the under and the first period under. Take it away, Gokster, and we got to be tight.
All right, yeah, this game here, great breakdown, Jimmy. I love the breakdowns you have on today's game. Yeah, big game I have written down here. The playoff picture is really tight. Korpisalo, too. He's got a .937 save percentage. Holy jeez, have another beer. Since March 1st, that's Korpisalo. Really good numbers. Fiala, Anderson, Edler, along with, like you said, Velarde are out. In this game, I originally had down, Jimmy, the LA Kings, but I'm kind of getting a little cold feet on this one. I'm thinking the under could very well be the play because I was looking at Laurent Brossoit, great French name. His home record in his games he's been back, Jimmy, have been pretty good against Edmonton. He got relieved, but against Minnesota, he's had one game. He allowed 1 goal, guys. Against Minnesota on the road, he allowed 3. San Jose on the road, he allowed 4. And then Edmonton on the road, he allowed 3. So on the road could be a little problematic for Brossoit, but at home, I think he should be fine here. And with the goaltender on the other side, Korpisalo, I do think there's a slight advantage there. Both these teams advantage to LA Kings, in my opinion, Jimmy, with their schedule. They play Vancouver, Anaheim, Colorado. Vegas have Dallas, Seattle twice to finish it off. So A very important game for both teams. I'm going to stay off the Kings, and I'll take the full game under here. That's going to be my play, Jim. What can we get it at? 6? Yeah, I'll take the full. I really don't see it getting too high up there with the injuries too to some of the offense, Fiala and Velarde for the Kings, so there's some offense too out for still Stone, Carrier, Theodore, who pushes the puck. Theodore. So give me the under, Jim. I'll take under 6 minus 110. I believe is the best number here I can find.
Wow, Carter Hart is confirmed in net for Philly. In all honesty, I don't know. If Carter Hart coming off of an injury, like I don't know who you'd have more confidence in at this point. In all honesty, If you look at their season-long stats, of course, you think Carter Hart. But if you look at the last few games, I don't know. I don't know. But we got to keep rolling here. We got to keep rolling. So next up for us, 10 p.m. Eastern, is a tricky one. Colorado Avalanche 46-24 and 6, 25-11-1 on the road at the Sharks 22-39 and 16, 8-20-11 at home. We're at SAP Center in San Jose, California. Georgiev going up against Kokkonen, I think. It might not be Kokkonen because he's just awful. Colorado 8-2-0 over the past 10, 31% power play, 76.7% penalty killing. San Jose 3-4, 21.4% power play, 87.1% penalty killing. And the issue here, is not the fact that I lost on the puck line in this last meeting between these two squads. It's not that. I can't pretend that it isn't in my subconscious. But it's not that. It's Makar being hurt and Josh Manson being hurt, and I don't know. I mean, maybe Makar plays. I mean, this is an important game for Colorado to win, but they've gone from minus 221 to minus 230. From a totals perspective, it hasn't moved off the 6.5 minus 117 to the over. Yeah. These teams just met in the 4-3 overtime win for Colorado here in San Jose on Tuesday night. It was the Avs' second straight win, snapped the Sharks' 3-game winning streak. The Avs are tied atop the Central, as we talked about, but Makar and Manson both dealing with lower body injuries. It's Sharks playing their best hockey of the year, you could say. And W. Arthur says Avs got to get this, but I didn't see the advantage as big as I thought it would be. And now without Makar and Manson, yes, they have an advantage, but to the extent that the market is giving it, I don't know. We got to be tight here, Gogster. MLB calling our name. Avalanche Sharks, 1 game left after this.
Yeah, we'll be tight, guys. We're saying it all show. Colorado's tied with Dallas and Minnesota Wild for first, so we all know it's an important game for them. And then San Jose, they're 2 points back for dead last. A lot of their lineup guys on offense is the guys they've called up from the Barracuda, San Jose, Jacob Pedersen, Daniel Gushinin, butchering these names. I really got to get better. But yeah, there's a lot of young talent they have. Defensively, they're a lot more experienced. That's why their penalty kill, Jimmy, has been 87%. So I lean to the under, but again, Kakkonen's been so bad. I would hope Reimer's in. If Reimer's in net, I would be taking the under in this game. But as of now, it's going to be nothing. I would lean towards Colorado, but they did not make the parlay.
All right. The final game on the board is a game I did move on. I'd say I'd have to go over it, but I would imagine that it's been my best angle this year. On Friday, there was a lot of people on the Coyotes and the game to be a draw against Dallas. I wasn't. I was just on Arizona first period. Now, I know that they're much easier to trust in the first period, at home than they're on the road. But I think the equalizer here is that the Coyotes just got fucking embarrassed. 8-1 here in Seattle on Monday. And then while they're off, the Kraken subsequently goes up to Vancouver and beats them 5-2. So the Yotes have been sitting in Seattle. And are they fuming? I don't know. I can't sit here and say that I truly know the character of this hockey team and that they're sitting there angry. But they were embarrassed. That's what I do know. And the Kraken are locked in the first wildcard spot. Locked. So they're going to meet the winner of the Central Division. Bjorkstrand's hurt. Burakovsky's hurt. The only thing that matters here is that they get healthy. And that's it. And it sucks because they got 2 games against the Knights where I need them to play better. I'm on the Arizona Coyotes first period at plus 210. Coyotes plus 210 first period. Let's just take a quick look at the line history here. We have the Kraken opening up minus 354. There's been a move towards the Coyotes. I agree with this move. The Kraken are now minus 334. Look, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to trust the Yotes on the road. This total opened up at 6.5 minus 125 to the over. There's been a huge move to the under in this game.
Really, eh?
The under 6.5 has gone from plus 109 to minus 116. Huge move. 25-cent move to the under is this big. Vejmelka, I trust. Grubauer, I think, will be the starting. Well, I think it's easy to say he'll be the starting goalie for the Kraken. It's important for Grubauer to play well. I'm on the Coyotes first period. We got to get an MLB gogster. Take it away here, Coyotes, Kraken.
Oh, this is a tough one here, Jim. You know, this is the last one of the 4-game banger, but I'm getting a little cold feet. You know, Arizona, when they can't score, it's when they don't have these certain guys, Michelli, you know, Schmaltz in the lineup. They got all their big names still in the lineup, Krause. The only issue would be is just it's Seattle. I'm worried about them defensively, Jimmy. Grubauer 7-2-1, but again, a .884 save percentage. That save percentage is not good enough. Bjorkstrad's day to day. I had originally Seattle in the parlay here, Jimmy, but you know what? I'm not going to try and force Seattle in here, and the fact that you're against it.
I'm just against the first period. I just think there's a lot of value for this angry team first period. So, you know, that's all.
Because they're not getting a home ice. They're not getting home ice no matter what if they get
they're stuck.
They're stuck in being on the road. So there's more importance. There's 8-1 game 2 last time out. I'm going to take the what was I going to take here? I just had a brain fart there, Jimmy. Look, they got so much action going on. I'm going to take the I want to take the over. I want to take both teams to score in this hockey game. And you know what? I'm going to take both teams to score 3 goals in this game, Jimmy. I know that might sound a little crazy, but I want the plus money. I want full 60 minutes. I don't trust Vejmelka or Grubauer. There's a lot more offense than there is defense on the ice here. So I'm going to take both teams to score 3 goals. They had 8 last time out. They have no problem scoring Seattle. And I think Arizona is going to put a much better foot forward here. So I'm going to take both teams to score 3 goals, Jimmy, and I'm just trying to find that real quickly here for you, brother.
Cool. Sounds good. Billy Friedrich says Arizona outscored 29-12 last 5. They've given up. You know, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I cashed on them first period against Dallas Stars, and they went down 1-0 in that first period. They finished first period up 2-1. I did a big casher, and they were just completely embarrassed. So, you know, I'm not, you know, we'll see. By the way, Rod Zawacki saying, question for you, what's Flyers team total? The over 2.5 is at plus 110. Plus 110. Gogster, both teams score 3 or more. What's the number?
Yeah, so it is here. Sorry, Jim. You know, there's 14 games, so I'm scrolling.
Okay. Here, why don't you grab it and give it to me at the end? We'll just review all NHL action here because we got to get on to MLB. First off, I'm on the Leafs at plus 130. Gogster's joining me. Leafs plus 132. He's also on the under 6 at minus 108. I'm on the under 6.5 at plus 110 in Buffalo, Detroit. I like this spot a lot. Remember, it's Rob Garvey's birthday. He needs a birthday pick from you. And also from me, but I might not do it in the NHL, but I probably will. So Leafs plus 130. I'm on 130. You got plus 132 and the under 6 and minus 108. I'm on the under 6.5 at plus 110. You can get that now plus 115. I love the under 6.5 in this game. Gogster's on the Sabres minus 110.
Hold on. That Sabres play, I'm seeing Tage Thompson's possibly questionable here. So I'm going to stay off the Sabres as of now. I'm not going to play the Sabres. I might play it later on, but as of now, no Sabres.
Okay. Then I'm on the under 7 at minus 120 in Ottawa, Florida. I'm very excited about that bet as well. Remember the negativity you had about Matthew Tkachuk when we started the season?
I wanted to doubt the guy, and he proved me wrong, so I'm proud of Matthew.
Capitals minus 1 at plus 102 for me. Gogster, you have the Jackets team total under 2.5 at minus 135. You have the Devils, Stars, Canucks parlay, and what's that at?
Plus 152.
Plus 152 for Gogster. Then I'm on the under 6 at minus 105 in Minnesota, Pittsburgh in the first period, under 1.5 at plus 115. Gogster is on the under 6.5. He got plus 105. That's available at Pinnacle right now. I bet mine at bet 365, and he's on the Wild money line plus 120. I'm on the Islanders minus 1. I got that minus 1 at plus 141. Then the money line was minus 120. This has gone up to minus 145 at some books. I love it. Gogster took the minus 130. That was the best line available at Bet Rivers, and he's on the Lightning team total under 2.5 at plus 115. I'm on the Predators at plus 150. This is one line that's gone away from me. Makes me uncomfortable. You know, should have handled things differently. That's fine. I'm on the Predators plus 150. Ghosts on first period draw plus 165 and Hurricanes Predators. I'm on the Blues at plus 145. And the chat made a great call on the over 6.5. I apologize for my son crying in the background. Ghosters on the first period, both teams to score at plus 135. Rod Zawacki, 10-star plays under 2.5 for the Flyers. Philly hasn't scored more than 2 goals versus Dallas since 2016. Rod Zawacki is in on the team total under for the Flyers. And that's a very good sign for me because I am on the Stars on the puck line, minus 1.5 and minus 105. I've got Rod Zawacki's action there. Then I'm on the Canucks on the puck line, minus 1.5 at plus 110. Then I'm on the under 6 at minus 110 and the first period under 1.5 in the Kings Golden Knights. Ghosters come with me, but the market's moving against us. And we know the red flags that are created from Peter Loshak when Pinnacle's giving you the best line. They're giving you by far the best line on the under 6. The market's moving towards the over. That surprises me. Look at the last few games the Kings have played. Then at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Avalanche Sharks. I'm not on it. Either's Gogster. Gogster. I'm on Arizona first period at plus 210, and Gogster's on first period, both teams to score. And what's
I'm going to take both teams to score 3 goals.
Yeah, sorry.
In that game, and it's going to be at plus 185. I love that.
185, and that is a 14-card NHL slate, and this is the most important night of the year for me in NHL. This is the most money I've had invested all year. And I'm 8-2 over my last 10. 6 of those 8 are plus prices, and this shit means a lot to me. So great breakdown. Sorry about all this. Gogster, good luck at the Masters, my man. That video is still up. Any last words for the cappers supporting the show and anything you're looking at for the Masters before we get into baseball, my man?
I just want to thank you, Jimmy, for everything you do and all that breakdown you had on that 14-game card. Great breakdown, brother. Everyone in the chat, Billy Friedrich, Rod C, Johnny, Mikey M, Kyle Hanley, everyone, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We got a great show still to come. Jimmy's the man, working as hard as he is.
Oh, a birthday pick for Rob Garvey.
This is not easy. Birthday pick is going to be a 3-team banger. Let's root on the Devils for you, brother. The Stars and the Vancouver Canucks. It's going to be plus 152. Quite high on that one. So let that be the birthday pick for you, my guy.
Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more time to give you the birthday pick. Kyle, there's no changing picks. I can buy out of my bet, and I'm not going to do that. But I respect your angle on the Bruins, and I wouldn't say that the Leafs are one of my most confident bets. I just feel like they got to, we talked about it, exercise the demons or whatever. I'm not going to buy out of it, and there's no changing. I can't just say, these bets are made. And
bet it's bet. Yeah.
Great job, Gogster. Good luck with the Masters, my man. And follow Gogster on Twitter at EGO47_, and get that cash, my friend. I will be in touch with you tonight on text. This is a big one. I'll be downstairs in the basement without my shirt on, but I won't be drinking. I only drink on the live stream, so this will be a straight sober sweat.
Straight sober sweat. Speaking of sweats, holy geez, 14 games, just working it up in here. Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Check me out, guys. Eagle47. That's where I'll tweet out my action. Guys, be good. Get that cash.
There he is, Mr. Gogster. All right, we get into Major League Baseball. It was funny yesterday because, when I was looking at everything, the way it banged out, it could have been a really, really nice day. If I had to listen to the chat a little bit more. Still, I'm trying to keep things tight. I went 2-0, raised first 3 minus a half cashed, raised first 5 minus 1 pushed, and Minnesota Miami first 5 under 3.5 cashed easily. And we talked about the nervousness of first 5 under 3.5, and I had to make that bet. And not be scared when I think I have an edge on the first 5 under 3.5, and I'm really happy it cashed. So you know what, 7-7 down 0.65 units. I have a tendency of digging a hole to start a year, and I'm not doing it this year. And I'm keeping everything tight. And I'm not doing it this year. Let's bring on the star of Say Hey plays of the day. Not only did he dig himself a real hole, but he's already climbed out of it, which is important. You don't want to have that weight on your shoulders. You want to have confidence. So a very, very impressive run by Jose, because it was a pretty ugly first few days of the year, and he's already climbed out of it. So what we need to do here is make money, and we have a 6-game card that we can spend some real time on and focus on. So without further ado, your star of Say Hey plays of the day, please welcome Jose Sweet Tea Tits Bouquett. How are you, Jose?
I'm doing good. That was funny what you said. He struggled mightily these first 2 days. I got a good chuckle out of that. Yeah, no, it was tough. It's so 8 units in 2 days is tough.
It's tough. It's so tough. Like I even told my wife, I was like, I'm worried because this is extremely important, and you don't want to lose confidence. You don't want to feel like, I know what it's like when the way the MLB gives you insomnia and you can't sleep and you can't, and so I was very pleased to see your success. There's Sharpie in the house. It's top of the morning, fellas. Hope y'all ate yesterday. Today on the Boxing Day, we got the man known for making unders great again joining us. 3 late games, 2 great cappers at 3:10 p.m. Noli Knows will be joining Sharpie today. Noli Knows. Okay. And Viper says MLB is a wild grind. Joe Yergin said Sharpie spot on yesterday. No surprise here. Let's get to work. And Jose, I'm excited to cap this card with you. I don't know your action. I've made one bet in MLB. But first off, where do you stand? So I'm 7-7 down 0.65 units. Average line minus 106 right now. What is your record in MLB this year?
I had 2 pushes yesterday, which is hilarious. I had Brewers -1. I had the Pirates team total over 4 push, and then I lost by 1 on the Orioles. So 17, 18, and I forget it was a plus money. So 17, 18, and 3, down 1.77 units. So still not that bad. But yesterday was basically a wash, essentially. Just unfortunate. I got 2 runs off of DeGrom, and then I was perfect. I thought the Rangers bullpen would capitulate, but nay, they did not. So shout out to the Rangers bullpen. Impressive stuff.
All right, well, let's get to work here. Our first game pops off in 48 minutes. Let's just get everything set here that we need to attack with. So get the lineups out, even though there's only just a couple afternoon games. I've moved on one of them. And let's get the weather up as well. Here we go. And let's fire away. And I've never been more excited about an MLB season before. This group at Pub Sports Radio is extremely skilled, and they all seem to have different skills. And I know I'll be shocked if this isn't the best season of my career. I'm coming off the best season publicly of my career last year. Let's keep it rolling. Here we go. Game 1 on deck. Boston Red Sox 2-4. All 6 of those games have been played at Fenway. They're making their first road start of the year. Detroit Tigers making their home opener at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. I've been down there and been to it. It's a huge street party. It's the one day of the year you're allowed to drink publicly anywhere you want, on any street, in front of the cops, anything you want to do. And it's a big, big deal here. Let's start with the weather here at Comerica to get things started. 43 Fahrenheit, 12.8 miles per hour, right to left, right across the diamond, goes up to 13.7 miles per hour. Let's move over to the line history here, and the cash flow will be next. And I'll let you know that I've already moved on this game. I am on the Detroit Tigers here this afternoon. There was opportunities for me, I felt, to make more than one bet on this baseball game. I decided that is not how I want to, that there is some concern over what Chris Sale is going to do here, even though, there's some concern over what Spencer Turnbull is going to do. There's enough unknown here that I don't want to put myself out too far. There's been a big move towards the Detroit Tigers. They opened up yesterday at 3:32 p.m. at Pinnacle, plus 141. They're now at plus 122. Totals wise, this opened up at 8.5, minus 102 to the over, minus 110 to the under. We're in an 8 now. It moved from 8.5 to 8 at what time? At 5:12 p.m. yesterday. So the first 2 hours and 22 minutes, it was at 8.5. And then it moved to 8. So you can imagine there's some sharp money that expects Sale to pitch decent and Turnbull to pitch decent. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. And as you know, I want everything to correlate. And, there's some spots here today where it does not correlate. And there's cappers that we've already seen that are on those spots, and we'll be discussing them. There's 46% of the tickets on the Detroit Tigers and 68% of the cash. That's exactly where I want to be all year, to a T. I'd prefer maybe 40% or 38%, but that's exactly what I want the money to be for every bet I make all season long.
Could you say that again then?
Sure, but I guess I would prefer it was maybe 6% less of the ticket price. But yes, they have 46% of the tickets and 68% of the cash. That's I really believe that's a sweet spot. From a totals perspective, there's 47% of the tickets and 84% of cash on the under, and the market has moved towards the under. So on both sides. Now the under is a little different because you had to get in on it early, and I'm not going to be doing that this year. I want to study the spot. I want to study the market. I want to hear what people have to say, and then I want to move at that point. Chris Sale did not look good at home versus the Orioles. It was a 9-8 win for them. The Red Sox came back. He went 3 innings, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 homers, 6 Ks, 2 walks. Spencer Turnbull went 2 1/3, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, no homers, 3 Ks, 3 walks, and a 12-2 loss at Tampa. It was ugly. Tigers in 2022 were very good against lefties and got better and better and better as the year went on. They were so cold out the gate. If the full tally, and we won't be talking about 2022 numbers for much longer. Maybe it'll stop next week. But 264 average, very nice batting average. Now, no power. The Tigers had no power last year. 701 OPS. We have Kyle Hintley in looking at the Oryx Buffaloes for his action as well today. But let's move over to the final thing here, and that is our opening day lineup here. For the Tigers, Vierling, Baez, Green, Torkelson, Haas, Cabrera, Scope, Rogers, Kreidler. For the Red Sox, Verdugo, Devers, Turner, Yoshida, Duvall, Casas, Arroyo, McGuire, and Hernandez at shortstop. I'm in. I got plus 120. Jose Bouquett, your Red Sox in play. Afternoon baseball for us to take us through the day. Take it away. Comerica Park, home opener in Detroit, Michigan.
So let's start with this. You mentioned the offense being down for Detroit. The team has taken a step to fix that. And today is the debut of that. They moved the fences in Comerica. I'm obviously not a Tigers fan, so I can't tell you how much they moved them in, but they moved them in because for the longest time, and everyone knew this, Tigers would never hit home runs. Now they're going to finally try to figure that out. Even, my guy, Miguel Cabrera, is very pleased about it. I've decided, during that breakdown that I'm going to just have a separate spreadsheet from all my bets for my homer play of the day. I bet on the Red Sox almost every game, whether I do it quietly or not. I do bet them just because I want to feel something when I watch their games, obviously. And thank God they came back the other day. I had them -1, so that was very cool. But I'm going to be the only guy on Chris Sale Island. I'll do it. I'll be the only guy. Obviously, Chris Sale struggled last time out against an Orioles lineup, which I think is a pretty good lineup. Very underrated. We've been betting them team total overs, been cashing a lot. Shout out to Jacob deGrom, who held them down yesterday, and shout out to Sharpie. But I don't think the Red Sox should be like -150-ish. I've been writing down the opening lines on Bovada just to write them down and see what they change in the morning. They started at -150, now -145 now. So you got to move to the Tigers a little bit. I'll be interested to see how all that goes. But my homer play of the day, Red Sox first 5 -0.5. You can get it at -110 right now. I've only got one play of the day in, and that was the Say Hey minute. Go watch that right now. We'll talk about that game when it comes. Quietly 3-1-1 in the Say Hey minutes, but whatever. I'll be on the Red Sox here. Homer play of the day, -110.
That's first 5 -110 for Red Sox?
Yeah, 5 -0.5, -110.
I was going to say, I was like, what the hell am I missing there? Red Sox first 5 -0.5, -110. So, you say homer play of the day, but, you must have faith in Chris Sale that's not solely a vividness bias, I'm guessing. Or is it just a vividness bias? Or are you just a homer? And was this just a waste of time?
No, I do trust Chris Sale. I think he's going to get better throughout the year. I think that first start, because in the last year he had 2 starts and got hurt. We just want him to get through starts healthy. And I think maybe it takes him 1 start to get healthy or get through the start healthy and get that mental confidence back. Like, okay, I can pitch a game without getting hurt. I pitched like shit, obviously, but at least I got through it without getting hurt. And Chris Sale's one of the most competitive people out there. He's been compared to Kevin Garnett in that competitive scale. You know, you guys might not see it because you guys don't follow the Red Sox every day, but he's a psychopath. You can all remember the scissor cutting thing with the White Sox and his jersey, et cetera, et cetera. I trust Chris Sale. It's a little surprising for them to be minus 150, minus 145. But I will definitely put my faith in Chris Sale. I think they can get the job done.
And, W. Arthur says, I do think he pitches better, though. It says same thing. Well, Greinke did pitch great in that first start, so he doesn't quite work, but Manoah does work. That was discussed with DeGrom yesterday. JT was like, we're building too much into that first start, so I get it.
Mitch Keller pitched well yesterday against the Red Sox after him struggling as well. So,
all right, Jose is on the Red Sox first 5 minus half at minus 110. I'm on the Tigers at plus 120. So we have a move towards the under. Viper just moved on it. Big O looking at Boston team total over 4. So we have a move towards the Tigers, a legitimate move. When you were talking about your line, can you repeat? Because I kind of missed it. I was doing multiple things here. So you're tracking opening line to closing line?
I'm just, when I'm taking my notes in the morning, I'll write down the lines just to see where they go.
And what book are you going to be using for that?
I was just using Bovada for that.
Okay.
It's a different book. And by the way, obviously, Bet Online lines are so much better. They just beat the hell out of Bovada's odds. So go sign up for our promo code there. Go sign up with an account, Pub Sports. You get 100% deposit match. It's sickening how much better the lines are. It's just flat gross. Like example, right now you can get the Red Sox if you're feeling inclined to bet their money line. You can get that at minus 132. If you want to bet that on Bovada, you've got to lay the minus 145. Like that's just crazy. But just an example.
No, it's important. It's important. All right, let's move on. That's game 1. It pops off here in 38 minutes. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, 2:10 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants 2-3, 5 games on the road thus far. At the Chicago White Sox 3-3, 1-1. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. Nut Flush Allen, the San Francisco Giants whisperer, is on the Giants team total over 3.5. Team total over 3.5 for Nut Flush Allen. Let's break all this down. Let's start with the weather in Chicago. It is 48 Fahrenheit, 13.3 miles per hour out to left field, and it stays that strong. 13.3, between 13.3 and 13.6 for the entire game. Let's take a look at the line history here in this one. Alex Wood, Lance Lynn, couple vets on the bump, vets that we know very well. White Sox opening up at minus 133. They're now at minus 124. So obviously, I have a vividness bias, and maybe it's not a vividness bias. Maybe it's just a great angle. But I have a vividness bias about what the White Sox can do to lefties. I know that last year wasn't the same as 2 years back, but last year the White Sox were riddled with injuries. And they
sucked as a team. They just didn't care. Tony La Russa, all that stuff. And they were still good, like you're saying.
Well, no, it's completely legit and fair, exactly how you stated it there. Totally, yeah. So I wanted the White Sox here, but look, Pinnacle moving towards the Giants, and I'm going to respect that. We all have different ways to get to the cash. The only thing that matters is that you get to the cash. Let's get to the totals here. Opened up at 8, and it's now at 8.5. So there's a move towards the over in this spot. Let's move over to the cash flow here for this one. We have a move towards the under. 38% of tickets and 52% of the cash, but we know it's gone up to 8.5. So, so that's tricky. And then with the money line, there's 28% of the tickets and 29% of the cash on the San Francisco Giants. When I first looked at this, there was 9% of the cash on the San Francisco Giants. So we had 91% of the cash on the White Sox, and the market was moving towards the Giants. And that is, for me, a huge stop sign. Stop whatever I'm doing, just stop here. And that's what I did. You have Alex Wood. I get how he can't be trusted and shouldn't be trusted. 8-12, 5.10 ERA, 1.24 WHIP last year, 130 and 2/3, 131 Ks and 30 walks. And Lance Lynn looked very, very good against the dynamite Astros team. Lance Lynn, 5 and 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, 4 walks, and a 6-3 loss at the Astros, but that wasn't on him. The White Sox last year against lefties, against a White Sox team that was riddled with injuries, had a manager asleep on the bench. I mean, it was just awful.
Literally.
They still hit 271 with a 767 OPS against lefties. So everything except for the market, and the line, the X's and O's all point to the Chicago White Sox, but it has to all correlate for me. Take it away, Jose. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts here. Just before you do, Billy Friedrich says Lynn has done well versus these batters with the exception of Conforto. JP says, I want to see if Wood can get past the 4th inning this season. I have my doubts. Walk, hit a batter. Give me the Sox. I can't wait to hear your move, Jose. Floor is yours. Guaranteed rate field, Chicago, Illinois, Giants, White Sox.
I'll shout out Lance Lynn first because he's been pitching well. Pitched well in the WBC. In games that were important and mattered, all that stuff. Came here, pitched to get well against the Astros. 2 earned runs off a home run there. The Astros, I'm kind of dubious on their lineup right now because the bottom half of their lineup is just riddled with just people that aren't good. Like, shout out to my guy Brian. He's in AAA. Hell, he might make an appearance on the Astros here. Who knows? That's how bad the bottom half of the lineup is. Shout out to him. I still just have a lot of trust issues with Lance Lynn, though. I still can't get there with Lance Lynn. Shout out to Dabby Cap, who's in the chat. He texted me right before the show. He said he likes Giants team total over 3.5 too. So that's another one in the Giants team total marker there. Mr. Cab and Mr. Nutflush Allen on those two things. I can't get there at the end of the day. My first initial look was White Sox first 5 -0.5 here again, but I'd much rather pass here. I'd much rather pass. I definitely had that vividness bias with the Giants or the White Sox against lefties as well. I bet on them against a lefty earlier this year. I do not remember who it was off the top of my head now. I can check my notes and see because I'm actually taking more detailed notes when I bet all this shit. It was Framber, right? It was Framber Valdez, and they didn't get the runs I needed him against there, but Framber's really good, and Alex Wood obviously is not as good. So I pass here. I'll just be watching to see if the White Sox can get the lefties again.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna, because there's been a couple spots where the X's and O's were right, but the market didn't correlate, and I didn't bet, and it would have won. I don't care. Look, I've this is year 6 doing this publicly, and for those of you who remember year 1, it was so horrifically embarrassing. And, we keep getting better. We keep improving. And I'm going to keep a tight ship.
Yeah, I'd much rather bet with the market than my own, iron stat analysis. Like, at the end of the day, if there's 90% on one play, I'd much rather be on the other side.
Let's move on. 2:10 p.m. Eastern. So, Toronto Blue Jays, 3-3 thus far. Again, they have that 10-game road trip due to the construction of the Sky Dome. What
are they doing to it?
They put $200 million. When we could build a new stadium for $2 billion, they used 10% of that money to renovate it. They added a bar area really, really high up in the nosebleeds where you can sit and drink. They added some stuff that looked somewhat cool, but I'm still very angry about. Are
you still never going to go there?
You know what? I don't know what I'm going to do because I've my nephew is a pitcher and he's half Japanese. And he has an incredible velocity, and he's 9 or 8.
Keep him away from me, Jimmy. You know how I feel about Japanese baseball players.
Well, he wants to see the Jays play. It's not like I'm going to just say, okay, well, you guys go. I don't want to put all that into his head right now. So I'll probably see a couple games this year. Blue Jays, Royals, Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's open up with the weather here at Kauffman. We have 54 Fahrenheit, 5.7 miles out to right center, 5.7, 5.6. Then we have the line history here, and there's been a huge move towards the Jays. It looks like it's come back a bit. Interesting. No, it hasn't. It's just still there. Huge move towards the Jays. So this opened up at -175. It's now -210. Total wise, this opened up at 9. dropped to 8.5, then it dropped to 8, back up to 8.5, now back at 8 right now. 8 juiced to the over. So it's dropped a full run and it's juiced to the over. When we get to the cash float here, and this wasn't a spot where I was saying like, oh, it doesn't correlate or anything like that, because you have 88% of the tickets and 92% of the cash on the Jays, and it's moving towards the Jays. And I was looking at the Jays, and I was like, well, yes, you have Gaussman against Lyles, and you have a much better lineup and all that. But how would you bet this? I watched it climb and climb and climb. It got up to minus 210 on the money line. The run line got to minus 130. And then you have Jordan Lyles, who is sneaky. And for whatever reason, he gets some comfort zone. And I know he's just, passed around the league from team to team to team. But he's found himself. I found him a tricky guy to fade, a guy I want to fade all the time. He lost here at Kauffman in his first start, and he looked pretty good. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 was earned, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and a 2-0 loss to the Twins. Gaussman looked better than the numbers indicate because those 3 runs, none of them were earned. 7 Ks, 1 walk, 6 innings. Look, Gaussman, I think Gaussman is absolutely elite, but I struggled trying to figure out how to bet this. I like what, I looked at the first 5 minus 1, and I was like, "Is that really?" I found out it was tough to. I can't take the first 3 because I thought Lyles looked really good against the Twins. The lineup here we have for the Royals: Witt, Melendez, Perez, Pasquantino, Olivares, Massey, Dozier, Prado, and Eaton. For the Jays: Bichette, Guerrero, Varsho, Chapman, Merrifield, Belt, Danny Jansen, Cavan, Biggio, and Kiermaier at center field. Take it away, Jose. Floor is yours. Jays, Royals.
Yeah, this was an easy pass game for me, but I did look at Jordan Lyles pretty intimately and his voluptuous breasts as well. He's kind of a chubby guy, interesting guy, that Jordan Lyles. Obviously, he was an Oriole last year, so there's a lot of familiarity when it comes to Blue Jays. He faced them 3 times last year. He was 2-1 with a 5.63 ERA. 1 start away was 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs there. The next one, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs off 2 home runs there. And then the last start being 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs off 2 home runs in that one. His strikeouts always vastly outweigh his walks as well. So he's going to fill up the zone. I am a little dubious. I'm looking at Kevin Gaussman with a little bit of a side eye. His fastball velocity was down a mile from last year's last start, so I'll be watching that a little bit. Check out his baseball savant after his start to see how that goes. I just will pass here. The only thing I did look at was a team total over for the Jays, but their lineup just hasn't been that great. Couple weeks in or couple days into the season, I've looked at the weighted runs created plus. I write down both the last year's and this year's to see if maybe they're just a little weird right now or what. Obviously, last year the Jays were 3rd against righties. This year, right now, 18th, 96 weighted runs created plus. Only 76 plate appearances, but we take our sample sizes as they come. So I passed on this game. Think it'll be easy. If you want to bet the Royals money line, I can see why you would. I will say just spout openers again last night. Bovado minus 195, and now it's minus 215. So what I do with that, whatever you will. So I'll pass on this game pretty easily.
I understand. This was different than the Rays game yesterday when I could easily comfortably take that first 3 minus half with confidence. Even though I don't think they scored till the 3rd inning or whatever, but in my head, like I could explain everything much easier.
The Rays have the best offense right now. I completely agree with you.
But I think it was more about the pitching situation here because I don't know, what Lyles is going to do here. He's more of an enigma, and I didn't feel that way in the Nats Rays game yesterday. So. I can understand why you are staying off. If you guys want to move on this, I can just wish you good luck here. And maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is a spot where I just got to get in. If I had more, if it wasn't Lyles being such an unknown right now for me, I would have moved yesterday afternoon would be one of the few plays that I could move on at 5 p.m. yesterday and get a -1 with a -175 and a minus 110 and find a minus 130 or minus 136 -1 line, but I couldn't do it here. So let's move on. Next up for us, 4:10 p.m. Eastern, Washington Nationals 1-5, first road game of the year at Colorado Rockies 2-4. This is a home opener in Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. We watched the A's last year have value on the road. Sometimes you need to get a team away from the 4,000 or 5,000 fans that are showing up to boo you to feel good about yourself.
It feels like we're on the same wavelength here, Jimmy. I like where this is going.
Well, I still need to talk this out here. I'm very nervous about this one. So I've not bet it. The only bet I've made was that Tiger spot. Coors Field in Denver, Colorado, home opener. 47 Fahrenheit, 7.4 miles per hour to the left field pole. It stays that way. It's slightly out, not quite to the pole, slightly out. Stays between 7.7 and 8 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line history here in this one. And here we go. We talk how much the market is important, but then there's X's and O's that you want to trust. Yesterday I said that after watching Dylan Dodd pitch the way he did, that shit is contagious, and that Bryce Elder just watched his young teammate go out and throw beautifully. So that shit is contagious, but not everything flowed, not everything correlated. But I like that X's and O's, and I still like the psychology behind certain angles. And here, getting the Nats out of Washington, I think, is going to be very helpful. Let's go into this line history here with Colorado. They open up. I'm not sure exactly. They open up at -126. There we go, -126. They're now at -150. So we have a 24-cent move towards the Rockies, and you could say that was probably a surprise number that it opened at. People probably thought there was value on that opening line. This total opened up at 10.5. It has just moved to 11, but it was at 11 at a -101. It's now at 11 at +104. So it was at 11 at -106. I take that back. So at 12:15, it was at -106 over 11, and at 12:47, there was a big move towards the under, an 11-cent move towards the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this spot. We have 70% of the tickets on the Rockies and 44% of the cash. So big bets are coming in on Washington, but the market is moving clearly towards the Rockies. So that doesn't, that gives you cause for pause. 80% of the tickets and 94% of cash on the over. And yet we just saw, once it moved from 10.5 to 11, we just saw an 11-cent move to the under. That's confusing. There's no other way to put it. That's a confusing move here. The Rockies opening lineup is in. I'm going to see if I can refresh this and see if we can get the Washington lineup here. We can't. We know that it's Profar, Bryant, Blackman, Cron, McMahon, Diaz, Montero, Daza, and Tovar at short for the opening day home opener lineup for these Rockies. Josiah Gray, 7-1 loss at home to the Braves to get his season started. 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 4 Ks, 2 walks. I don't know what he's going to give you. Kyle Freeland coming off that 4-1 win at San Diego. He pitched very well. 6 innings, 3 hits, just 1 strikeout, 1 walk, but he pitched very, very well. Jose, I can't wait to hear your breakdown. I'm all ears. This one is fascinating. We talk about the Coors Field fade. We've talked about it since I started. Of course, that's betting the underdog on the -1.5 line because of the increased volatility at Coors Field. Now that volatility is skyrockets when it's hot, and it's not hot. Take it away, Jose. Nationals, Rockies.
Yeah, I'm on the Nationals here. This is my say hey minute play. I bet them last night, my +115. You can get better odds now, actually, which makes me fucking sick, but whatever. I took them first 5 money line here. I need to see Kyle Freeland do it again. My guy, do it again. Prove it to me that you can pitch well at home. Home opener obviously makes it a big deal. Last night it was a 10.5, and now, like you said, it was an 11 for me now. I lean under as well because I do think Gray is a decent pitcher. Josiah Gray pitched well last year in spurts. I think obviously the first start against the Atlanta Braves, one of the best lineups in baseball, is a very tough spot to be in. He's faced Colorado last year and the year before, and he's been in Coors before, so that makes me feel better about pitching, but betting him, I should say. He's only given up max 3 runs every time. He's pitched well. So I like the Nationals here, first 5. I think they can get some offense going here. Shockingly enough, so far this season, the Nationals against lefties, 4th in the major leagues. 143 weighted runs created plus, 79 plate appearances. Last year, they were 24th, 90 weighted runs created plus. So I'll ride this hot streak the Nationals have going on right now. I think they can get the job done here. Wouldn't be surprised if they won this game outright. I obviously look towards Nationals team total over, but the 11 makes it a little aggressive to hide or to bet. So I lean under here. I like those numbers just because I would rather be on the opposite side, like I mentioned earlier, of the 90%. And I will obviously take the Nationals first 5 money line there. 3-1-1 so far this minute records. Maybe it's just because using psychology. Shout out to Jimmy's bomb. Maybe it's because that's just like the first play that jumps out at me and I feel the best about it. So that's what I put out there first. And maybe that's why the record is pretty good so far. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Nationals first 5 money line for me.
And I guess I have to track the Coors Field fade.
I wrote that down as well. The -1.5 there. I didn't get the price. I definitely looked at it, but I would rather bet that when you mentioned the high volatility. If I think this game's going to go under the 11, then I probably will stay off of it, and then I'll wait till there's more money on the over, and then that's when I would bet it.
The problem is it's one of those bets that you almost need to bet every day.
Every time. It's like the -300 fade.
Yeah. So Josiah Gray did not pitch at Coors in 2022. He pitched in 2021, and he was pretty good there. For Coors, he 5 1/3. He allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks, 3 walks. They won that game. So that was his. I agree that you want a pitcher who's been there. Now it's been a couple years, and with the colder weather, look, I guess I'm going to have to stay off it. Robert Franklin says Freeland last year also 5.51 ERA in day games.
I never know how to take those. I never know how to take the day game, night game ERAs. This team plays well on Tuesdays rather than Thursdays. I never know how to take those stats, honestly.
Yeah, I don't. It's everybody handles them different. I think that the key is you want things to correlate with your X's and O's. That's all. You just want when those edges or angles come in, you want it to be, with your action rather than against it.
Yeah, it definitely makes me feel better about betting against Freeland here.
Let's just touch on Kyle Freeland just for a second longer. We know he got off to a great start this year in that start against San Diego. Last year, he was atrocious at home.
Yeah, and saw the Nationals last year and got crushed by them last year too.
But he was so bad at home. So he was extremely good on the road. And then at home, he was atrocious. 5-6 with a 6 ERA. Opponents hit .303 against him. I like where you're at. I like where you're at. I just don't know what Josiah Gray is going to give us. Wash Redskin says Gray for the Nats cannot keep the ball in the park, gives up the long ball all the time. Max Welly
issue in Coors.
Max Welly says Jose might be onto something. I like it. Mally Mouse says Kyle Freeland's case is juiced to the under 3.5. That correlates with what y'all are saying right now. And I don't know what to do. So
I'm going to move on the Coors Field fade. We'll ride it. I was hoping to get a better price for it. The only reason why I use Bovado a little more than I use BetOnline is BetOnline doesn't have as all many markets, prices, et cetera, et cetera. So I've got it at +170. I was hoping to get +200 at least, but Washington Nationals double up here. First 5 money line and -1.5 here. Executing the Coors Field fade like my forefathers did.
I'll give you it's +190 at Bet365.
Oh my God! Fuck this goddamn book.
Yeah, it's
BetOnline. Give it to us, guys.
Oh, that was Bet365, but I'd be curious to see Bet365 when we started this. The lines that they would give us on the Coors Field fade or the dog on the run line were better than any other book, and then they fixed it. They changed it. Let's just take a look at what Pinnacle's offering here. I'd be very curious to see. It is plus 192. So we'll give you plus 192 over at Penny. I'm interested in it. Very, very, very interested in it. Luce's Fox, I'm on the Coyotes first period, but I can understand believing the Kraken. They have nothing to play for. So I don't know. I don't know what exactly we're going to get from them. All right, let's move on. Mike M says it's day gray. He smashes for us. First half plus a half at minus 110 too. It's day gray. Like Dre's day. All right. God, I got to sit with this game. I find all your action very appealing. Let's move on. Next up for us, 7:20 p.m. Eastern, and we have come to Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. He is on the Atlanta Braves -1 at minus 113. Ron Crawford is on the board. San Diego Padres 3-3. They played their first 6 games of the year so far on the road. We're at the Atlanta Braves 5-1. This is their home opener at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's take a look at the weather here for this spot. 75 Fahrenheit, 10.7 miles per hour out to left field. It's close to the pole, but then it starts going right out to left, almost left center by the end of the game, and always double digits out. Let's take a look at the cash. Or the market, I should say, here for this one. Let's get rid of Pinnacle. Sorry, I got too many things up right now. And let's figure out the line history. Look, I can understand cappers who want to believe in Strider and want to believe in the Braves here. I get it. But there was no movement earlier. There had been 3 cents of movement. Now there's 5 cents of movement. Opening up at minus 158. It's now at minus 163. So 5 cents of movement on the Braves. From a total perspective, it opened up at 7.5 and it's now at 8. It's gone up a half run. Maybe that is weather related. When we get to the cash flow here for this spot, we have 22% of the tickets on the Friars and 40% of the cash. That's gone down a little bit. When I looked at it, 4 or 5 hours ago, they had 58% of the cash. Now they have 40% cash, but clearly there are big bets coming in on the Padres, and the line's not moving on the Braves. 30% of the tickets and 78% of cash is on the under, but it's gone from 7.5 to 8. There's our guy Rez Mob in the house. So Blake Snell, he's coming off that 7-2 loss at home to the Rockies. Unfortunately, I was on him that day. It was a stupid. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 9 Ks, 1 walk. For some reason, I need to tighten the ship as soon as possible. And this year, I just tightened it up right away. Right after my first day, I was like, I got it. Everything's got to correlate completely, or just don't bet it. Spencer Strider, 6 innings, 3 hits, no one runs, 9 Ks, 3 walks, and 7-1 win at the Nats. He looked very good. Braves versus lefties last year were dynamite. 265 with a 7.82 OPS. Yes, I did, Swiss. Call the Padres the Friars. No, the Friars, but whatever. We can talk about that later. That is a nickname for them. Take it away here for us, Jose. Do you agree with the spreadsheet play today? -1, -113. Take it away.
I do. I like it so much that I'm thinking about riding with them there, the -1 here. I had Braves team total over 4.5 written down initially. Their offense is just, oh my God, it's so good right now. I have a friend that's a Braves fan. And they're gonna hit 270 home runs this year. Like they're gonna just smash, and who's gonna stop them? I don't know. I like this Braves team a lot. They've been one of my favorite teams in the last couple of years. I like how they do business. There's what's not to like about them. The only problem is their pitching can kind of be somewhat spotty, And guess what? They've got their best pitcher on the bump today in Spencer Strider. Cy Young candidate, I don't think you can bet Cy Young still, but obviously you can look at this guy and shout out to Manoah, who also might be up there as well. I'm sure he shut a lot of people up last night, calling him fat and out of shape by going 7, 8 innings, I believe. Shout out to him. But yeah, I think it's just Braves or nothing here, to be honest. I've never really liked Blake Snell a lot. It's never been my guy. I just pass on Blake Snell starts usually, or I bet against him here. And my first thought was obviously, like I said, team total over 4.5. But when Ron Crawford mentioned that -1, I was like, why would I take the team total if I'm not scared of the pitching? I believe in Spencer Strider. I think he can shut down this Padres lineup. I understand that I think they're the best lineup in baseball. But, we'll see here. I'll take that -1. I get it at -113. Excuse me. I get it at -114. So a little better, a little worse than Ron. But yeah, I'll be on that officially.
Braves -1, a -114. I completely get it. I get why you guys are on it, and I think that I should have some legitimate concern that, and I want to kind of dig into Loshak on Tuesday about this, but we are clearly seeing the Dogs early in the year have, I guess, expected value from the Sharps. So if that's just the case, when we see that in NHL, then this isn't going to work this year. And it's possible. And you saw the fear in his eyes when he was talking about,
that I think that was only you. I did not see that.
I did.
You've mentioned it several times, and I've thought about it. I'm like, I think that was just Pete, but okay.
No, it's not. It's not. I know him well, and we're going to dive into this on Tuesday. I will not be on the Braves with you guys, but I will not be on the other side. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is Atlanta -1 at -113. Jose's on the Braves -1 at -114. Let's move on to the final spot on the board today. We've already talked our guy Ron Crawford, and now we talk about our guy Matty Ice. Barry Smith made it clear that he would prefer to see Matty Ice on the show. And neither of us.
To me. Yeah. No. It was just me. Don't worry. It was just me. By the way, today in the chat has been just comedy hour. Razor started it. He started making the Helga jokes. My hair's been on display.
We've stayed focused. We're doing the Lord's work here.
You're right.
Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. First, we need to know with the home opener what's going on with the roof. We need to know that right away. What the hell is going on with the roof here? We need to know that. Can we all look it up? Can somebody look it up in the chat? That is extremely important here because it's not that warm yet, right? It's not that warm. It's probably perfect. Oh, maybe it's too cold. I bet you it's too cold. I bet you the roof's on. That's too cold for Arizona. They don't want to be sitting there freezing. They don't like that shit. 71 Fahrenheit down to 64. So I guess the roof's going to be up.
It is going to be open today.
Going to be open.
That's extremely. And it'll be open for the entire weekend as well. It'll be open for the foreseeable future. Apparently, that's what they have on their website right now, MLB.com.
71. That's extremely important. 71 Fahrenheit, 7 miles per hour out to right field. It starts moving towards the right field pole, but it stays between 7 and 7.2 miles per hour. Dodgers, Arizona Diamondbacks. Matty Ice is 2-0 thus far, giving his MLB taint plays of the day, and he's going for 3-0. He's on the LA Dodgers first 5 -0.5 at -110. Dustin May going up against Merle Kelly.
Sweaty neck.
Let's take a look at what we are dealing with from a line history standpoint here. We have Kelly opening up the Diamondbacks, I should say, at +127. They're now +131. So there's been a 5-cent move to the Dodgers. At one point, there had been a 9-cent move to the Dodgers. It got to that limit at 9:35 a.m. Since then, in the last 3 hours, it's come back 4 cents. From a total perspective, this opened up at 8.5, -112. There are now 9s on the board. That 9 was once at -102. It's now at +104. So maybe some books are still hanging 8.5s. Let's get over to the cash flow for this final game on the board here. We have 82% of the tickets and 84% of the cash on the Dodgers. Seems like a lot of money on the Dodgers for the line not to be moving. 56% of tickets and 68% of cash on the over. And that does make some sense to me, with both of these pitchers seeing each other for the second time. Dustin May, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 4 Ks, 1 walk, and 2-1 loss at home to the Diamondbacks. He looked very good. Merle Kelly, I was afraid to bet him, but he looked good. He only made it through 3 2/3, 4 walks, did him in, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and he was part of that 2-1 game at Chavez Ravine. Take it away for us here. Jose Bouquett, final game on the board before we have NBA with Billy Brisbane, who's coming off a 4-0 plus 5.3 unit sweep last Thursday. Dodgers, Diamondbacks, floor is yours.
So I find this game to be very interesting. I was pretty pissed off at myself. And shout out to you. I'll give you the sluck and lather right now. But I heard your voice in my head. I wanted to bet the over in a Braves Cardinals game this past week. I looked at it the night before. It was like half run better than it was the night or the morning of. And I heard you in my head. I said, can't bet this. You already lost the line. You just can't bet it. And of course, it went under as well. So I didn't bet it and it went under. And this was an 8.5 last night. And I wanted to bet the over. But now that it's a 9, I'm just like, do I want to bet this now? Because this is the first back-to-back of the year. For any pitchers, really, first time May and Kelly face their teams again, blah, blah, blah. I always tend to side towards the batters on that aspect. But here's the thing. Last time out, I remember this very vividly. I bet on Dodgers team total, I believe, against Merle Kelly, because he just was like 0-11, just the worst starts ever against the Dodgers. And then he came out, put only 3 2/3, but that was his best start in his career against Los Dodgers. I don't think he can do it again. I don't think he can do it again against Dodgers lineup, which is good. Not the best we've ever seen. Still a good lineup. The real question is, do I want to take the over here or do I want to take team total over with the Dodgers? Dodgers team total now is 5, and I don't love taking 5s. I've never been a fan of them. And I don't want to take the 8 or the 9 now. So it's kind of a pickle I'm in. So, and my last note, I guess, is on Dustin May. Shout out to my guy Preston, who hates Dustin May, because every time we bet on Dustin May, something bad happens. Don't know what it is. We've bet on him and his debut stunk. Bet on him another time, got crushed in the head with a line drive back at him, came out of the game. There's just been many points where we bet on him and just has not come through. Of course, I didn't bet on him last time either, and he pitches dominantly. So I've always got that vividness bias with him. But I think he's a really good pitcher. He's one of my favorite pitchers to watch in baseball. So I think it's a Dodger spot personally. I just have to find a way to bet him, and I don't know if I'm going to bet them team total over or what the problem is.
Interesting. The full game total has gone from 8.5 to 9, but the first half total also had a similar move at Pinnacle, but it's come back. So at 9:07 a.m., the over for first 5 went to -117. Since then, it's come back to -108. If it was still at -117, I think I would bet the first 5 over after these pitchers seeing the opponent a second time. Sold out Chase Field with the roof open. But here, no, I would not. There's no unders thought for me. I believe that. Well, you know what? I guess I take that back because of this last move towards the under. If that hadn't happened, I would move on that first 5 over. And I don't think I'm going to be able to. But I can understand you thinking that Merle Kelly's vulnerable.
I don't have. Against everyone else, I like Merle Kelly, but the Dodgers are always a little bit different. And what can you say about the guy? Of course, the Dodgers offense has been very juggernautish the last few years, and maybe now that it's a little worse than it has been, maybe Merle Kelly can take advantage of it in that aspect. But it's just tough to back the Dodgers. Like I said, I don't want to bet a 5. I never enjoy betting 5 team totals. And then the over, I kind of feel like I lost it with the 8.5 to 9. I kind of want to cash at 9 and not push at 9. So,
no, I hear all of that, all completely legitimate. Merle Kelly was very good at home last year, very strong. He had a great season, and then against the Dodgers last year, they completely lit him up. 22 earned runs in 24 innings, 6 home runs. I mean, did he exercise those demons? Sorry, I've said that too many times. But Razor Sharp Picks Gamblers First Glance is in. Gambler's first glance is in. By the way, Jeffrey Stasovsky, loving your look on the Giants. But Gambler's first glance is in. So we have Taint play of the day in. We have the spreadsheet play of the day in. And now we have the Gambler's first glance. And it is the San Francisco Giants at plus 110 on the money line. Well, I'm going to keep everything real tight. Maybe that's boring. I'm going to keep this shit real tight. So at this point, I only have the Tigers at plus 120. Let's review Jose's action. I'm only on the Tigers at plus 120. Look,
you got a lot of NHL action too,
I
figured this might happen as well. You know, it's a kind of a shitty baseball card. Nothing really jumps out. You've got a shitload of money on the NHL.
I want action.
Of course. I know you're an action hog. You want it all.
Jose's on the Red Sox first 5 minus a half at minus 110. I don't want action more than I want to win. We all know what's going to happen here in about 4 weeks. It's going to be all baseball. Our whole bankroll will depend on baseball success. And so it's extremely important. Extremely important. So Nut Flush gave us the Giants team total over 3.5, and Gambler's first glance at the Giants plus 110.
I'm going to move on that as well, I believe.
Okay.
I'm going to trust my elders. Shout out to Peter Loshak. Capping, gambling, big part of that is listening. So I will listen to my elders here, and I'll take the Giants team total over 3.5 with you guys as well.
Well, it does correlate with your X's and O's because you do not trust Lance Lynn.
I do not. No, I don't. I'm just a little worried because, like I said, he pitched well in WBC, pitched well against the Astros. But the Astros lineup, just half of it's not good anymore right now. Just once you get past Kyle Tucker, it's like Helmsley, Maldonado, Jake Myers, Chas McCormick. None of those guys are very good. And it's just, I don't know. It worries me a little bit when I see fucking that big load of Lance Lynn out there cussing up a storm, being confident, feeling himself. So, I'll ride the Giants. Let's go with the Giants here. And let's do it with the Elders.
Team total over 3.5 at minus 121. Nutflush got it at minus 110. Market is moving towards the Giants, it seems. Then Jose is doubling up on the Nationals. First 5 plus 115. Full game minus 1.5 at plus 192. Ron Crawford has the spreadsheet play today on Atlanta minus 1 at minus 113. Jose got the Braves minus 1 at minus 114. Taint play today is the Dodgers first 5 minus a half at minus 110. And that is our MLB breakdown. Sharpie coming off a 4-0 day. But he says that we're 0-0 today, and that's what matters. And we have Noli Knows joining Sharpie. That pops off in 2 hours, 1 hour and 57 minutes from now. Son Dizzle says you look like a Latin Elvis.
Thank you. I also can't confirm Razor's rumors. I did leave Helga for another man. Yes, those are all factual statements.
Okay, let's get back to work here. We're going to move on to NBA. NBA's next up on the docket. Billy Brisbane going to be joining us from South Jersey. He's been very patient, and he's been holed up at the Mohegan Sun Casino now for weeks on end. But he's been cashing nonstop. And the last time he was here, everybody, Ron, I got you all locked in. Last time he was here, everybody wanted to talk baseball. It was opening day baseball. But there's something called due diligence. And this is about winning. This is not about having fun. Although, the two go together. Everybody wanted to talk baseball. And Brizzy came in and went 4-0 plus 5.3 units on 2 games in NBA. So I don't know a single capper who doesn't believe in our kid Billy Brisbane from South Jersey. This guy is very good, and we're fortunate to have him here on the show. Yes, Nutflush, he did call you an elder. I know that you shaved your beard, and you've last time I said you were 50, you drastically changed your life. So maybe you got to do it again. Please welcome from South Jersey in the house, fresh off board, Sweepage. Please welcome Billy Brisbane to the show. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, Jim. I got a quick question for you, man.
Sure.
I ran into this problem yesterday, and I never blame losses on anything. But how do you deal with public gambling of people commenting about a bet at the halftime or something like that? Because where I come from, that's a fucking jinx. I don't care if the person's 1 point away or 2 points away. You don't ever speak about a result of a game to another capper if they have money on it until after the game. You do not message them. You do not DM them. You don't call them. You don't text them. You don't Twitter at them. And that shit be pissing me the fuck off, man. And that's people be asking, like, why are shit, like, sometimes VIP and stuff like that? Because I don't need people to comment about my motherfucking plays at fucking 7:30 in the fucking night at shit like that. I'm watching the game. I am watching the game. Good and bad. I already know. I know the Pelicans are down by 20 fucking points at halftime. I don't need a fucking text message about it. Are you betting anything live? I don't need it. They're going to come back and they're going to win the game. Just calm down. Everybody's got to – sometimes I feel like everybody wants everything to be so easy in the gambling world that sometimes you're going to have to sweat out bets. That's the world that we live in, and that's the job that we do day in and day out. It's about getting what we like and sweating it out. Sometimes everything's not going to be a cigar play. Not every play is going to cash in the first quarter.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, those people who are doing it, they're not your friends because – not everybody out there are our friends. Your friend would never do that, but that's why, some of us are your friends and some of us are just people that follow you on Twitter. So the thing is never reply to any of it. That's the first thing. Don't
that's the first
never reply to any of it ever. Even if you have the best line or whatever, never reply to any of it ever. Don't put gasoline on any of that shit. So whether it's a text message or Twitter, whatever, 0 replies. And also no new friends. Brizzy, no new friends. All right, let's get to work here. 7 p.m. Eastern. Brizzy, fresh off board sweepage here. Troy Torrance says PSR needs a Discord for live betting. We have a Discord. My goodness.
We're going to bring the Discord back. We have a Discord, but it is not, I will say personally, it is not actively used as much as it used to be.
No, we should bring it back. So I agree. We should get. I was even thinking about that. I jumped on it and I didn't say anything. I was just kind of looking around about 3 days ago, and you're right. We got to bring it back. I like the shirt idea, but yes, maybe we can get Jose drop the link in the chat. But we have a Discord, and it was great. Okay, let's get to work here in NBA. Of course, Brizzy, fresh off board sweepage, and it was spectacular, and he's now very healthy in the black on the season. Let's get to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Cavaliers, 50-30, 19-21 on the road at the Orlando Magic, 34-45, 20-20 at home, Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. Both teams 3-2 over the past 5, and it doesn't really matter about the Cavaliers' pace because they are sitting everybody tonight. They've assured themselves of the number 4 seed in the playoffs, and everybody is sitting. No Donovan Mitchell, no Jared Allen, no Karis LeVert, no Darius Garland, and no Evan Mobley, all sitting this evening. Let's go over to the line history here in this one. This was another tricky spot. I'm sure that there are sharps that got in, as soon as they realized that Cleveland was going to take care of business. But it's now at -9.5. I could have got in at 8.5. I chose not to.
I feel you. I saw this line open up at 8.5, and I was like, I get it. The Cavs had their playoff spot locked up, but was nobody playing for them? And then I looked at the injury report, and it was like, no, nobody is playing for him. Even Karis LeVert sitting.
Yeah, and maybe there's a way for us to handle this. This total didn't drop too far, 220.5 to 218 and a half. There's big show picks. There's the Discord link. I agree with the sentiment. I think we should bring the Discord back here. A lot of the fights that went on in the Discord, those cappers aren't all here with us anymore. So I
I think the best part about the Discord is, like, for example, that's how I met Birdie before from like your shows and stuff like that. But when you're sitting down and like a person can really dig into your brain while the live bets are going off and stuff like that, you really get to know how a person's betting style goes and stuff like that. And that's one of the biggest benefits from the Discord. Because I mean, I remember there was Saturday mornings where me and Birdie were looking at the NCAA slate for like 2-3 hours, and it goes very underwhelming.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I think it was a good point, and a good thing that Troy Torrance brought it up, because Troy Torrance would be great to break all this stuff down with. So here we go. 63% of the tickets and 93% of the cash is on the Orlando Magic. Supposedly, I would like to see what did Bet Online open this up at. I would like to see where, because we know that some of the cautious books had an idea that everybody would be sitting. Bet Online opened this up yesterday at 2:17 p.m. Now, of course, there were limits attached, but Orlando was +4. So that is a wild 14-point move to the Orlando Magic. That's the biggest move, I think, of the season here. So cash-wise, all over the Magic. Total-wise, 99% of the cash is on the under. And let's just set a quick table. These teams just met here in Orlando on Tuesday in a 117-113 Cavs win. Donovan Mitchell went for 43, 4 straight games of 40+, but he's not on the floor. And the Magic have been playing good ball. That was just their second loss over the last 7 games. Sorry, I seen game there. 7 games. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Any interest at all, or is it just straight backwood?
Shouts to my guy, Joe Yurkovic. Magic moneyline -300 3-unit play. I'm right there with him. I think the Magic are the only way I'm looking in this game. This is a first leg of a 2-leg parlay. The Magic have been on an ATS tear recently, 9-0-1 ATS last 10 games, 10-1-1 ATS in their last 12 games, and 10-0-1 ATS in their last 11 games when their opponent scores 100 or more points the previous game, and they're 5-0-1 ATS last 6 home games, 3-0-1 in their last 4 games versus a team with a losing road record, I should say. And for the season, they're 22-17-1 ATS at home. So I like the Orlando Magic a lot here in this spot. I get it. This is the corpse of the Cavaliers, and sometimes it's addition by subtraction. So this is basically all these players that are going to be playing for the Cavs, while they aren't their best players, they're going to be motivated because players are playing for playoff rotational spots right now. A lot of people are trying to fade the Knicks yesterday by betting the Pacers money line, and you saw what those rotational players did yesterday. Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, those are all players that are going to go off at the end of the year because they don't want to be sitting on the bench in their warm-up uniform once it comes away from a month from now. So some of these Cleveland guys are going to be motivated, but I think the talent discrepancy is pretty huge here. This Orlando Magic team, while they aren't in the play-in tournament, they are still motivated. They're still playing like they care. And the way this roster has been playing right now, I don't see how many points you're getting for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't care how many points it is. I want the Orlando Magic ticket in my pocket. I don't think I can back on -10, but they're going to be the first leg of my 2-leg parlay. It's pretty easy to identify what teams really need at this time of year. And the Cleveland Cavaliers don't really need anything besides health and rest. And Orlando Magic need more fans in their stadium. And the way this ball club's been playing, they're definitely putting more fans in the stadium of recent. I mean, Markelle Fultz is playing his best basketball of his career right now. Paulo Banchero is about to secure this Rookie of the Year award. And then the rotational guys like Franz Wagner has been stepping it up. Gary Harris has been playing good basketball. And then guys off the bench like Jalen Suggs, Mo Wagner, Cole Anthony have all been giving them good minutes. This is a deep Orlando Magic team, a team that I've been high on since the preseason, a team that's made me a lot of money throughout the year, and I'm going to keep on backing them today. First leg of the 2-leg parlay. And I rarely ever would say I would back a -300 straight, but I would back a -300 straight here in this spot. If you have that type of bankroll and you're a big dollar better, I would just bet the Orlando Magic straight.
Yeah, the starting lineup for the Cavs, not as bad as you might think. Rubio, Danny Green, Lamar Stevens, Dean Wade, and Robin Lopez. Shout out to
Chetty Osman is a player to highlight for player props. They have no Cleveland Cavaliers player props up tonight, but the highest usage rating player on that team with all those players out is Chetty Osman, but he does have the highest amount of sample size. Ricky Rubio could be a potential player prop option, but Lamar Stevens rebounds. He's been really good filling in for Jared Allen this year. And usually when Jared Allen's out, everybody wants to play Evan Mobley props, but it's really been Lamar Stevens that's been stepping it up in the rebound category. So, I mean, there's potential things to look at in this game player prop wise, but I just take the Orlando Magic as a money line favorite. First leg of a 2-leg parlay. There's another team that desperately needs a win today, and that's the way I'm playing it today. I'm not getting cute.
I hear you. The first half of a parlay for Brizzy, who swept the board with us last week. Tell me, didn't just say that got the +4.5. So how the hell the books open this at +4.5? I have no idea. Wish I would have smashed it a lot harder.
I wish I would have gotten that +4.5, but my sleep schedule was all fucked up yesterday, and I went to sleep, woke up for the Lakers game, and went back to sleep after the Lakers game. We cash on the Clippers, baby. Let's go.
Let's keep rolling. Nunya business play of the day is the over.
I don't mind the over. It's just it's hard to really promote an over for a Cavaliers team that I don't know who's going to score 25 points in the starting lineup.
Yeah, and I think that it'd be fair to say nobody will.
I mean, like, Dean Wade, at that point, you might just bet Dean Wade's 3-point prop. If you're betting the over in this game, I think it's smarter to take the player prop overs. You'll get more value.
None of your business. Play of the day, over 217.5. Cavs Magic. Let's move on to my only bet of the day. And, could have got it a better number. But I'm on the Heat here tonight at +3, -110. That's where it is right now. So there's been no change here. I think, we have 2 games here for the Sixers. Heat tonight, Atlanta tomorrow night. And the Sixers proved their point. Embiid proved his point, and now they have nothing to play for. They're at Atlanta tomorrow night. Which game is Embiid going to skip? It looks like he'll skip the road game, which we can understand. Love you, Res Mob, my man. So both teams are playing at a very, very slow pace. But again, are we certain Embiid's going to be in the lineup? Probably for the first half of this game.
I'm not. I think Embiid plays this full game, and I think he's actually serious about this game. Last game, everybody was shitting on him about the MVP trophy race and all that. If he plays good tonight and puts up another good 30-point game, I mean, I don't even think there should be a discussion after tonight.
There's no discussion.
I think there's already no discussion, but there is still some of those ESPN segments and stuff like that are going off right now. They're saying that, people that are publicly voting for the MVP, some of those people are publicly saying they still aren't voting for Embiid after the performance that he had versus Boston. So I don't know if I want to get in front of the Sixers right now, especially at home.
Oh, that's fair. That's completely fair. But I think the MVP is over. And Yo-Yo Mendes says Sixers can lock up Brooklyn by beating Heat tonight. They don't want to see Heat. Look, I don't agree. The Sixers have no concern.
That's so cap. Yeah, the Sixers have no concern about the Miami Heat. If there is a team that we would be scared about in the Eastern Conference, it would probably be the Boston Celtics. I don't even think we're scared of the Milwaukee Bucks. We fucking smashed the Bucks.
But I don't think there's any concern about the Heat in a real series, in a real basketball. Personally, in fact, the Brooklyn can give you some trouble that the Heat can't. And the Heat, but Heat are injury prone. But I hear what you're saying, and there's legitimate to what you're saying, Yo-Yo Mendes. So let's discuss the line history here and everything that we expect. Here we go. Okay, so line history-wise for this spot, this opened up at Pinnacle at 3. It opened up at 3 at Pinnacle. Obviously they're very cautious. We'll go, and that was at 7:45 this morning. We'll go over to Bet Online. Bet Online opened this up at 217 yesterday with the Heat +5.5. So there's been a big move towards the Heat. Totals wise, this opened up at 221.5 yesterday at Bet Online 217. Now it's at 220. If we go over to Pinnacle opened this up at 220, which is exactly where it is right now. So there's been no movement at all. No movement at all. Look, Dan Kelly, I agree that you could break down the advanced analytics and say that Jokic should be the MVP. I agree. But Jokic has given in. So Jokic just stopped trying for it.
I'm with Jimmy though, man. I mean, we're not giving Kobe Bryant 3 MVP trophies in a row. And everybody was saying Steve Nash robbery, this, that, and the third. I don't think Jokic is about to win 3 MVPs in a row. So I think Jimmy, you're spot on with that.
But Jokic is not trying for it anymore. He's completely given in. I mean, do you think
completely
he's going to be up there tonight? I mean, he's not going to play tonight, right? He's just so that's the problem. If he was still trying, then maybe there'd be a case. But so let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one.
Bigger fish to fry, Jim. They're trying to win a fucking playoff series for the first time in forever.
Without a doubt. 56% of tickets are on the Heat, 83% of the cash, a lot of money on the Heat. And it's moved 5.5 to 3, so that's all legitimate. And I'm sure that the bigger bets came in when the number was there, but there were limits on that shit at 5.5 at Bet Online. Like you couldn't go drop 10K on that shit. Total wise, 45% of tickets and 96% cash is on the under. So here we go. Heat coming off their second straight win, 118-105 at Detroit on Tuesday. The Heat need to win if they want to avoid the play-in. They need to win out. They're not going to avoid the play-in. Let go of that shit. Butler went for 18 in the fourth quarter, 27 overall. Sixers come in off their third win in 4 games, 1-3, 1-1 at home over the Celtics on Tuesday. Embiid, 52 and 13. He was 20 of 25 from the field, 5th game of 50+. And it was very, very, very impressive. Take it away for us, Brizzy. Heat, Sixers, you've already put some concern in my thoughts for my Heat +3, but are you moving on this game?
I'm not betting the spread on this game. I don't think you can. I think the move would probably be the Heat, but you can't confidently. I feel like this reminds you of the Toronto Raptors Boston Celtics game from yesterday. Everybody and their mom was going to the window ticket to bet to bet Toronto Raptors. And what happens? The Boston injury news report comes out, and they still have Jason Tatum on the floor, and Jason Tatum's good enough to win you a basketball game. I think that Joel Embiid's good enough to win the Sixers this basketball game. -3 is basically betting within one possession, and I'm not fading the Sixers at home. That's something I can't do right now. But I want to go in the Heat in some type of way, and the way Jimmy Butler's been playing right now, the big move for the Heat has been they haven't really been playing Kyle Lowry as many minutes as they usually do, and that's been a lot better for this team. They've been letting Gabe Vincent and Jimmy Butler really manhandle the backcourt with Tyler Hero, and Butler's assist prop is 5.5 today, -148. That is a official play. I'll probably find a better line somewhere, but I'm on Jimmy Butler's assist prop over 5.5. He's gotten 5.5 assists in 3 straight games and 5 out of his last 6 games. I expect the double teams to come from the Sixers tonight. He's got to get the teammates involved for them to win this one. And without all those players for the Sixers playing tonight, it's definitely going to bring our defense down a little bit and raise up the pace. And Jimmy Butler in these type of scenarios absolutely smashes. I like his assist prop a lot tonight.
I think it's a great look. Butler over 5.5 assists. What was the juice on that, Billy?
Let me check on Fliff, because on FanDuel they gave me -148, but the sportsbook named Fliff, one of the newer books that came out, they're giving fucking ridiculous fucking lines out.
Why don't you grab that for you? You can take a second. I'll set up the next game. I'm on the Heat +3 at -110, and I just don't think. I certainly wouldn't play Embiid more than 28 minutes tonight.
I don't think it's the. I think if you're running into this game trying to cap the thought process of the Philadelphia 76ers, you might find yourself looking wrong or stupid at the end of the game, because this is another one of these teams that our playoff rotational spots right now are fucking dead tight. It's Maxey, it's Harden, it's Embiid, and then everybody else. And Tobias Harris, I'll throw Tobias Harris in that mix, and then everybody else. These role players like Shake Milton and stuff like that, if they ever want to walk into a playoff game throughout this series, so Shake Milton, Jaden McDaniels, Daniel House, Georges Niang, while I don't think these players are great superstars, it's not like the Miami Heat correlating cast is that much better. I mean, you're talking about fucking Duncan Robinson, Max Struss, Gabe Vincent, Victor Oladipo. I get it. I mean, on paper, it looks like the Heat should win this game, but don't be surprised when Shake Milton puts up the 25 bomb tonight and we're all ringing the bell and we're partying it up in Philadelphia tonight, because Philly's game got postponed, so I expect a lot of people to be – all those people that were at the Phillies game are now pre-gaming for the Sixers game. This could be a game that on paper to the betting public we might not care about, but I'm telling you, those players that are suiting up and that are putting on that uniform tonight give a fuck about this game.
Well, we will see. I hear you, and I hear what Tommy didn't just say that said. He said Heat were to play +5.5, just like the Raptors were to play at +5 against Celtics. I got in on the Raptors late. I got them in at +4.5, and it was still good money. And maybe this 3 is a mistake. I don't think it is, and we'll see. We'll see how this bangs out. Let's move on. Grab me the juice on the over 5.5 assists when you can. Let's move on to 8 p.m.
Minus 140 for that assist prop. I'm probably going to play it on both books, though. So whatever you want to mark me down as, I'm good.
Okay, let's move on. Next up for us, Portland Trailblazers, 33-46, 16-23 on the road at San Antonio Spurs, 20-59, 13-26 at home. Bo Jackson saying Coach Rivers 20-7 at home against Southeast Division. Says again, if you're betting on the Heat, I know you don't cash tickets. Look, I'll keep this as clean and kind as I can. I don't believe in trends when a team has nothing to play for. So that's about as nicely as I can say it, Bo. And I do love capping with you. So, but for putting that shit on me because I'm on the Heat makes me really have to edit what I say so that I don't say something mean to somebody that I love capping with, because there are some mean things going through my head. You
did your job. You got good line value on it. I mean, sometimes you can only research the game and do the information and get in where you fit in, and you fit in very perfectly there. I mean, that line's probably going to close to the Heat, probably favorites.
We'll see. Let's keep rolling here. Portland Trailblazers 33-46, 16-23 on the road. San Antonio Spurs 20-59, 13-26 at home. We are playing our first ever NBA game at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas. I guess that brings the only interest to this game whatsoever. Portland 1-4 over the past 5, playing at pace 100.9 possessions a game. San Antonio Spurs 1-4, playing at pace 103.15 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history. Look, I know, don't worry, Bo Jackson, don't worry about anything. Like, it's all good. When you work with people every day for hours at a time, there's going to be situations like this. It's just part of being in a group. It's all good, and I love capping with you, and no worries. Spurs opened up -2.5. They're now -4. From a total perspective, it opened up at 230. It's now 228.5. Brizzy answering a question here about what game is the most important here for a team, and mentioning the Thunder. We're going to get to that very soon. Luke Chase Fox says this game looks like a straight bum fight. I love watching bum fights. I used to. Maybe I'm older now and I won't. When I was younger, I did. Dan Kelly said, I need the Spurs to lose one more game to win my futures ticket. If it comes down to the last meaningless game for Dallas on Sunday, I will have to hedge out. Yeah, no, I feel that. Okay, so
that's crazy. You bet the under on the Spurs. That you got balls, man.
Let's take the cash flow, the season win total under. That's what he had. Yeah. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. So we see this big move towards the Spurs. It's interesting because 67% of tickets and 71% of cash is on the Blazers here. Total wise, 51% of the tickets and 95% of cash is on the over. So nothing is correlating with where the market's going. And this is a bum fight. So this all looks very uncomfortable. After their shock 107, so both teams had shock wins, and then both got right back to their losing ways. It was a 107-105 win for the Blazers at Minnesota on Sunday, 19.5-point dog, second biggest underdog outright since we started tracking it in 1990, or at least since ESPN started tracking it in 1990. So Portland, no Jeremy Grant, no Nurkic, no Anthony Simons, and no Lillard, of course. Skylar Mays, third game with his team after the 10-day contract.
Skylar Mays, baby, put the money in our pocket, man. Jim, they're laughing at me, man, for playing the Skylar Mays prop. They're like, G League, dude, you're looking at G League stats? The fuck are you smoking? I'm smoking good tree, man. Skylar Mays made us a good amount of money. They don't even want to put the Portland Trailblazer props up on the board today because we've been smacking them.
I love it. It was a great call on Mays. Shaden Sharp went for 20, but he is possibly not going to be in the lineup tonight. I have it here somewhere, but
Chauncey Billups is about to fuck around and get fired for the Portland Trailblazers winning games. They're telling Chauncey, you're not benching Shaden Sharp. I mean, the dude's got 35 points, man. What are you doing? We're supposed to be losing games here.
Yeah, that must be a big part of it. 2-0 Tigers. Jabari Walker went for 16, Shaquille Harrison 13, John Butler Jr. 10, and Sharp is listed as questionable right now. He's gone for 20 or more in 7 of his past 8 games. It's a left knee that they're calling it. Portland has beaten the Spurs in all 3 games this season, but of course that was with a very different roster. After the Spurs pulled out their shock win, 142-134 in overtime in Sacramento, the Spurs lost 115-94 at Phoenix on Tuesday. No Keldon Johnson with the right foot sprain. No Zach Collins with a cut finger. Vassell with left knee injury management. And Shohan right knee soreness. They were down 31 points, but they kept fighting back and trying. Brandon went for 21, Jones 20, Bates Diop, and went for 13. McDermott with the ankle injury, Barlow undisclosed, Devontae Graham adductor, all left Tuesday's game with injuries, and McDermott and Graham have all both been ruled out. What a mess this is. What a mess. I know that you do due diligence. Did you find an angle or something that you want to move on?
Yeah, this is another one of those type of games. You might have to call 1-800 on me, but I love this basketball game. I spread wise though, I think the Spurs are going to win this game. I honestly really think the Spurs are going to win this game. But am I backing the Spurs at minus money?
Should I just go take that?
I would take it. Yeah, I would take it. I bet that was a serious moment there. But I think the Spurs are going to win this game, and I don't think I want to bet it though. I think I'm going to go to where I've been making money, and it's in this player prop section, man, when it comes to these Portland Trailblazer games. And we're going with the revenge game here. If there's one person that's got a jersey on tonight that's going to be motivated, it's going to be Zach Collins. He was a drafted lottery pick for the Portland Trailblazers. They thought that he was going to be the future of the team, and Zach Collins did not live up to expectations. And Zach Collins has lived up to San Antonio Spurs expectations, going above and beyond playing for them. I love his props today, points and rebounds, and the rebound prop. I will tweet out which one we're specifically on, but more than likely it's going to be the rebound prop. The Portland Trailblazers are allowing teams to grab the second most boards per game throughout this short sample size without Damian Lillard on the floor. Zach Collins is coming off of one of his better games of the season. He's averaged 24.5 minutes per game in a lot of his contests since he's been in the starting lineup. And Portland shoots a shitload of threes. So I think he'll get a lot of opportunities to get rebounds. I think there's going to be a high-scoring game. Give me Zach Collins' rebound prop, and hard lean to the San Antonio Spurs winning a fucking basketball game. This is one of those type of spots and scenarios. Thursday's a day that you usually want to back favorites or chalk money, because it's the day before a lot of people get paid. So this is the sharpest day for the sports books. So no dude that's broke or doesn't have money's walking into a sports book on a Thursday morning and betting the shit out of something if they don't have the money. Thursday's a sharp day, and the sharps are on the San Antonio Spurs, and I would follow them on this one if you're betting the spread. You're telling me the public is betting the Portland Trailblazers, and people are holding their hands with the public, and just because there's a plus money price tag connected to it, people think there's value on it. The value's on the San Antonio Spurs winning this game, and Mills, Zach Collins might be trash, but not in this bum fight. When there's bum fights, those are the games that those bums start looking like greats. And I think Zach Collins is going to be great tonight.
I agree with you here on this Spurs look. The 4.5s are coming too. I agree with
Would
you.
it be the Spurs team total over? That would be the way to attack it, because neither of these two teams are going to play defense. I feel like the over under 228 is a little bit low, but I would feel more comfortable betting the over or securing the pace. It's hard to really imagine what this Portland Trailblazer team is going to look like on their 4th or 5th starting point guard of the season. Like we kind of got a little bit used to Shaded Sharp was like dollar store Damian Lillard for a little bit, so the pace was still up in play. But if Skylar Mays is potentially the starting point guard, or one of those other guys, Shaq Harrison. I mean, we remember Shaq Harrison in college at Kentucky. He is a very slow basketball player.
By the way, you're getting love and respect from one of our low bag legends. Says, I've been betting sports for over 50 years, and I never before heard the take of day before payday sharps. Billy is the Einstein of sports betting. That's a high praise from a very respected
my guy,
man.
Dan Kelly. Yeah, but sometimes if you're going to sleep on a Wednesday night, screenshot every sports betting line that you see in the sports book. And then when you wake up in the morning, if those lines move 25 cents or more than likely that team's going to win.
Let me ask you something here because I know I'm on the fence, but the Rockets and the Spurs are tied with 20 wins. I mean, isn't it imperative that
Portland's about to? We'll talk about this in a couple of games, but Portland's about to fuck around and blow their spot out of the 26th in their lottery standings. Like Portland is very teetering of like blowing their lottery thing. And if you tell me that Chauncey Billups, what the front office is telling Chauncey Billups versus what Chauncey Billups is doing on the floor, this is one of those negatives of having a player coach. The player coach is trying to embrace the players. I think Portland's trying to win the game, but from the front office scenario, they need to lose every basketball game possible. You saw what the Utah Jazz are doing. They're literally benching the whole entire team so they can catch up to Portland for the 26th. The front office will fire Chauncey Billups by the end of this season. It would be the last week of the season firing if Chauncey Billups keeps on winning fucking basketball games.
You know, I get that side of things, but now, so we're talking about both teams have to lose here. I mean, like, I
don't think the Spurs have to lose though.
If they win this game, then they're going to be the third worst record. The Rockets are going to lose out.
I don't know, man. I don't think the Spurs. How many games are going to lose? Where like I honestly just don't think the Spurs are even care about the lottery thing. Like the people that are maybe the front office cares about the lottery thing, but the people that are suiting up for tonight, like Jack Collins and Trey Jones and all those motherfuckers and Malachi Branham, those people just want to get paid money. None of these players are max contract players or players that have 3 to 4 year deals. All these players are probably going to be fucking free agents or looking for contract negotiations in about 2 to 3 weeks from now. So they better start playing good basketball or they're probably just going to be falling off to the wayside like the rest of the Spurs roster.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm still on the fence here, but I get the idea with the Spurs -4.
I get why you're on the fence though. The reality of betting the Spurs at chalk money makes you want to throw up in my mouth.
Let's move on. We have 2 games left here on today's sports card. 9 p.m. Eastern, Oklahoma City Thunder, 38-42, 15-25 on the road at Utah Jazz, 36-43, 22-17 home at Vivint Arena, Salt Lake City, Utah. Both teams 1-4 over their past 5, playing a similar pace. The Thunder 101.9 possessions a game. Utah 102.27 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. We have the Jazz opening up as 6.5 point favorites at -105. 6.5 point dogs at -105. They're now at 6.5 at +100. So a slight 5-cent move to the Thunder. Very slight move to the Thunder. Total wise, it's opened up at 238. It's gone up a point to 239, and that 239 is juice. So I imagine there'll be 239.5 here. 239.5 here. So, Dan Kelly says to be exact, he has 2 different Spurs futures. One at 222.5 at +105, and the other at 223.5 -125. He's already won that, but he says his point is these books are sharp. And Luchace Fox says it's important for the Blazers to lose for sure, but the Spurs don't care, and they are the better team. Spurs get the win tonight.
I agree with that analysis.
Great to have Millsy here in the house. What up, our guy Mills? Let's take a look at the cash flow for this. What the hell is it? Here we go. For this one, we have 72% of the tickets and 91% of cash on the Thunder. You know, that's an alarming amount of money on the Thunder for this line at Pinnacle. Not to move at all.
Not the OKC Thunder in this game.
Not moving at all, though. Let's just see. So obviously, Bet Online with limits when it opened is probably opening this up at around, let's say, a 5. Let's get it. No, they opened up at 6. They've moved it to 7 though. They moved it to 7 an hour and 20 minutes ago.
This should be the -10 line.
So, cash-wise on the total, we have cash-wise on the total, 61% of tickets, 77% cash on the over. So, thoughts on this over? Let's go here. Tommy didn't just say that his bottom 3 teams all have the same odds. Says Spurs have no reason to lose anymore. I forgot about that.
That's what I thought.
I forgot about that. I was caught up with the NHL giving the extra.
One on Monday night too. So
that's a great That's a great call. Tell me didn't just say it, and thank you for reminding me of that. Here we go. Thunder coming up there, third straight loss, 136-125 at the Warriors on Tuesday. I had the Thunder +8 full game, and I wish I only had them first half. Shea went for 32. Jalen Williams dropped 19. Jazz coming up their third straight loss, 135-133 in overtime at home to the Lakers on Tuesday. And no Markkanen, no Clarkson, and no Kessler. They had Sexton for, 15 minutes or so.
You got hurt again?
No, they're just bringing him back slowly. He's listed as out. They're trying to lose, but the players aren't trying to lose.
Gang.
The Jazz got 23 from Kelly Olynyk, 23, 7, and 7. He used to play basketball with son Dizzle, who's in our chat. Taylor Horton Tucker, 7 assists and 22 points from Agbaji. And they got 29 assists in that game, 7 players in double figures. The Jazz are still trying here. This is a fascinating one. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Thunder, Jazz.
This is the most important game for the Oklahoma City Thunder in years. The Mavericks winning last night puts pressure on this Thunder team to win this game. The Utah Jazz aren't completely out of the play-in picture, but their front office wishes they were out of the play-in picture because, I mean, dude, if you really cared about playing in the playoffs, you wouldn't sit. You're probably the betting favorite for most improved player this year, Larry Markkanen. And look at the lineup that they put out there last time. I mean, Taylor Horton Tucker, Agbaji, Lukas Samajic, Kelly Olynyk, and Eduko Zabaki, and they sat Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler will be sitting for this game again. So I'm not really the biggest thing about backing the Thunder is they have no front court at all. Like their front court is terrible, but that's not a worry for me in this one. OKC's 4-1-1 ATS in their last 6 meetings versus these two teams 6-2-1 ATS in their last 9 meetings in Utah. This is the biggest game for the Oklahoma City Thunder in franchise history in a very, very, very long time. If they win this game, they could possibly be in the playoffs without their number 1 draft pick from last year, which is pretty impressive. If you're looking at the player props for this game, Taylor Horton Tucker would probably be a person to look at. He's cleared over 22.5 points in 4 straight games. He's also cleared 5.5 assists in 9 out of his last 13 games. And the only 2 games that he didn't were 2 away games. Utah is allowing Horton Tucker to really just do whatever he wants. So that's probably a player prop potential look. But this is the second leg of the 2-leg parlay today. We're not getting cute with today. We're going with the Orlando Magic and Oklahoma City Thunder 2-legger, and that's going to bring us the cash. Those are 2 teams that actually give a fuck about playing today, and I'm going to back them. I'm not going to get cute. I'm not going to bet the spread. I'm not going to take the -6, -5. It was profitable for me yesterday just to back the 2 teams that need to win, Dallas and New Orleans. Both those 2 teams need the win. I disregard the -6 spreads and just bet them 2-leg parlay money line, and it cashed. It was sweaty. Yes, it was sweaty.
Yeah.
And I expect tonight to get a little sweaty at some points, but that's the money tonight is the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Orlando Magic 2-leg parlay. Wherever you can find the best odds, find the best odds. Those 2 teams are going to win. However these spreads go and these over-unders and the player props go, hey, those are a little bit more of gambles, but those are the 2 winners tonight, the Orlando Magic and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
You can get that parlay -146 right now at Pinnacle. -146 right now at Pinnacle. Let's move on to the final game on the board. And I think this is a little more confusing than it may look. Denver Nuggets 52-27, 19-20 on the road at the Phoenix Suns 44-35, 27-12 at home. Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. So I had the opportunity to get in on Phoenix at what was it at 7.5, and I chose not to. Now it's at 10, and had I known it was gonna, I thought we'd see 8. But it's at 10 now. And it's juiced to Phoenix. So it's going to be more than 10. And I'll tell you why it's a little more confusing than it is. And the reason why I didn't move on it at 7, or 7.5, when it was available to me. Still opened up at 223. It's now at 224. Let's go over to the cash flow here on this one. 74% of tickets, 97% of the cash on the Suns. Total wise, 65% of tickets, 83% cash on the over, and it's dropped. This is why the Suns have clinched the number 4 seed. They have nothing here to play for. Nothing. So yes, look, I know that the Nuggets are going to be sitting, Jokic. They're going to be sitting Jamal Murray, and more. I get it. But now you're playing against a team that has nothing to play for. We've already heard Brizzy talk about these role players and the importance of them to try. So the Suns coming off their 6th straight win, 150-94 at home over the Spurs on Tuesday, clinches the number 4 seed. Durant coming back from the ankle injury. He scored 18 points on Tuesday's game. He's looking very good. 25.6 points a game, shooting 58.2% from the field. And, Booker went for 27. Chris Paul had a good game for a change. And then DeAndre Ayton also went for 19. Nuggets coming off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 124-103 at Houston on Tuesday. It was embarrassing. They looked terrible. The role players, I'm sure, got, slapped in the face over how bad they looked. And now you're playing against a Suns team that doesn't care. Doesn't care to the extent that I
they really do. They really not care? I mean, this starting 5 has played 20 minutes together, damn near. I mean, that's not the exact number, but if they think that they can package together a couple of trades and win an NBA championship trophy, they got a long fucking thing coming, man. Ask the Miami Heat when they traded for Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh how the fuck that worked out in the championship. This Suns team has to play minutes together. It doesn't matter who they're playing. They could be playing the G League team of the West or something like that. This starting 5 has to get some type of chemistry together for the playoffs. They have to roll in there because more than likely they're probably not going to be in any of those playing games. So they're probably going to get a couple of days off prior going into the playoffs. I wanted to bet the Nuggets plus 10.5, but I couldn't pull the trigger. I think the Suns give a fuck about this game. I think they want to prove a little bit of that they are the team to really rock with in the West right now. They got their home crowd behind them tonight. But the only thing that scares me about betting Phoenix Suns games is for a lot of people that don't know how a lot of these stadiums are set up, a lot of these stadiums have clubs and clubs and stuff like that in the top where the VIP people sit and stuff like that. But in the Phoenix Suns arena specifically, FanDuel is connected to the arena. Like you could be in the FanDuel Sportsbook and damn near watch a fucking Phoenix Suns game. So it's just is Vegas going to make a lot of money on this game somehow, some way? I kind of want to see how the line move goes a little bit. This is the last game on the slate. I don't need to bet the last game on the slate at 2:00 p.m. East Coast time. But I do like the under in this game. The under's been 5 straight for the Nuggets games and 5-0 in their last 5 games on playing a single day of rest. And the under's been 4-0 for the Suns last 4 games following an ATS win. So the under 223.5 looks like a good spot in this game, but I'll let Noli do the over and under. Shouts to the Balking Dead in a little bit. That's the over under king. I'm not betting no over unders in basketball because I'm going to be screaming at the television or be going to sleep early and see if my bank account went up or down. I hard lean towards the under 223. I mean, every Nuggets game in the last week to 2 weeks have been just straight unders, and the Phoenix Suns are still kind of getting used to their pieces and their chemistry. On the surface, it may look like the Suns don't care about this game, but that starting 5 has to play more minutes together with each other, because if they go into the playoffs, if the playoffs started today, right now, and they've only played maybe 1 game to 2 games with that starting 5, and they play like the LA Lakers in the first or second round, call me crazy. The LA Lakers are going to smoke those motherfuckers in 5 or 6 games. You see what the Lakers are doing right now. Everybody thought everybody's going to sit for the Lakers tomorrow against the Clippers. And what did they do? They put in their starting 5 that they need to build chemistry for the playoffs. Regardless of how that game went last night, they were down by 20-something points in the beginning of the third quarter, and they didn't rest anybody and stuff like that. They wanted to get their chemistry going, and I think the same exact thing for the Phoenix Suns. The Western Conference has become very competitive of recent. I think they're going to try to prove a point or send a message that they are the team to beat in the West.
Interesting. I'm going to wait.
I would rather back the Cavs plus 10 than back the Nuggets plus 10.5, because I mean, the Suns last game against the Spurs, granted it's the San Antonio Spurs, watching that game live, they are playing fucking playground basketball. They can score whenever they want to, and they can go on 20-0 runs whenever they want to. It's just am I backing -10 for the Phoenix Suns, or do I really want to parlay them tonight? I thought there was value on the Orlando Magic at -300, but Phoenix Suns at this price tag, maybe not.
Well, I'm very interested. What up, Trance, my man? I'm very interested in the Nuggets, and I want to see how high it goes. So I'm in that. I think that I'm now convinced with the top 3 teams getting the same percentage with the lottery. I was thinking of an NHL in my head that they wanted to lose because they're still in a nice spot there. So I think I add the Spurs -4. That answers your question, Dom Play. But let's review all NBA, and great job with this tricky small card. We have Billy Brisbane coming to us live from the Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. And the only way you get holed up in a casino like that is if you keep making money, and that's what he's been doing. And he's fresh off a 4-0 day, plus 5.3 units here on the show. Let's review action. Most confident spot for Brizzy is the Magic Thunder moneyline parlay. Get that at -146 right now at Pinnacle. I'm on the Heat +3 at -110. Billy's on Butler over 5.5 assists. Jimmy Buckets -140, 5.5 assists. He's interested in the Zach Collins rebounds, but you have not made that official yet. Have you, Brizzy? Okay, we'll see here in a second if you've made it official. Spurs -4. I'm going to be moving on, but we'll see if Brizzy makes the rebounds official. Thunder is part of his parlay. I'm off of it. And look, I honestly, with the Suns clinching, I didn't want them at 7.5. So I'm going to move on them at double digits here. Brizzy, did you make the rebounds official with Zach Collins? Or are you waiting on that?
Thursday's a Jimmy the Bag day, so the full card gets tweeted out through Pub Sports Radio and stuff like that. So more than likely going to be on the rebound prop, but I don't call anything official. Like, yeah, we call it official on the show, but it's not official until I have the ID ticket number in my pocket and the dollar amounts on it. So that's where we're leaning and heading to. And when this closes in the next 5 minutes and I go smoke my cigarette, there will be a Zach Collins bet placed.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. Again, you can catch Brizzy right here on Betting with Bag every Thursday. Now 3-2 Tigers as we speak.
I am sweating, man.
Baseball game. Great job, Brizzy. Thank you so much for rolling with us. Follow Brizzy on Twitter at @gettingbills_. And then Brizzy, you still dropping action on Instagram as well?
Yeah, dropping action on Instagram, but we're gonna promote a little bit different of a we go to podcastaddict.com, or you can go on my Twitter, and we're working on a nice little podcast, me and Mills, big show for the people out there betting MMA or want to get a little bit of MMA insight for this UFC Vegas 287 event this weekend. Make sure you tap into the podcast, because between Mills' locker room talk and then me talking to Alex Pereira's guy and all that, we're setting up a nice little Easter Sunday, and we're going to make a fucking lot of money this weekend. So make sure you turn into that podcast, because this is just stuff that's building up for the Saturday fuck sesh that we're about to have on the sports book. No Easter Sunday will be celebrated besides winning, cashing tickets, and NBA basketball. So Easter's being done a little bit differently this year.
I love it, Brizzy. Thank you for rolling with us. South Jersey in the house, but now the Mohegan Sun. Now he's holed up in the Mohegan Sun making money. Let's review all action here for today's card. I'm heavily invested in the NHL card. The most money I've had all year in it. It's a big night. Very, very, very important night for me. Very important. I'm on the Leafs at +130. Gogster's on the Leafs at +132, and the under 6 at -108. Kyle Hintley, who makes much bigger bets than I make, thinks I'm in a bad spot here. Thinks I should buy out. Thinks the Bruins are going to take care of business without Bergeron and Krejci. Maybe one of them goes in. Maybe one of them wants to play here. I don't know why they would, but we'll see. And I'm very interested. I'm on the under 6.5 at +110 in Buffalo, Detroit. Gogster was on the Sabres, but with the Tage Thompson news that he may not be in the lineup, he got off of it. And Dan Kelly says you can get the Knicks +36-1, +3,600 to win the Eastern Conference at FanDuel right now. I'm on the under 7 at -120 in Ottawa, Florida. I'm on the Capitals -1 at +102. A gogster has a 3-way parlay here. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day is Vancouver in regulation. I'm the corner of Bag and spreadsheet Boulevard is the Canucks. I'm on them on the puck line at +110. Gogster has a 3-team parlay: Devils, Stars, Nucks at +152. And he's on the Jackets team total under 2.5 -135. It's Rob Garvey's 27th birthday, and I would like to give my best spot on the board. Minnesota Pittsburgh under 6 at -105. Minnesota Pittsburgh first period under 1.5 at +115. There are 2 spots in that wild Pittsburgh game. Gogster joined me on the under 6.5, but he's also on the wild money line at +120. The Islanders -1. North End saying they're now -155. I knew, like, if this was a spot where, if I was in Vegas, like watching that Lightning Rangers game, you just know you fade those 2 teams the next night where they have nothing to play for. I got in on the Islanders -1 at +141, -120 on the money line, and +210 on the puck line. Gave me a +141. Ghoster got in at -130. He's also on the Tampa Bay Lightning team total under 2.5. TransCanada said he almost burned his Jets jersey last night, but healing skills he learned over the years stopped him. That's good. Predators +150. That's the only spot on this board, the way I think, that went against me line wise. It's gone against me pretty heavy. Gogster first period draw +165. I'm on the Blues at +145. Gogster's on first period, both teams to score, and that was the addition, the over 6.5 in Rangers Blues. I know that Brizzy's birthday pick to you, Rob, would be the 2-team parlay, the Thunder Magic money line. I'd love Jose to give you a birthday pick as well, so he will jump back on here too. Rod Zawacki 10-star play today is the team total under for Philly 2.5. I'm on the Stars on the puck line -1.5 -105, and I think that might be the spot for me. I'm also doubling up on the under 6 -110 first period under 1.5 +115 in Kings Knights, and then I'm on the Arizona Coyotes first period at +210. Razor sharp picks about to close out a pick 5 here at Gulfstream. I love it. Rob Garvey, happy birthday. Going over everything once more. My baseball action is in play right now, and it's tight. I think I think what I would give to you and I can't give you something I'm not going to bet myself, but I think that probably looking at it, I would probably take the Canucks and the Stars money line parlay. Now, I'm on both of them on the puck line, but I think that would be a way that I'd probably, if Brizzy's most confident, because we all gave you parlays. If you're giving the most confident spot on the board, I would say that would be it for me, is a Stars Canucks money line parlay. Now, I'm taking them both individually on the puck line. Jose, my friend, another show in the books. It is Rob Garvey's 27th birthday. What do you have for a birthday pick for our friend Rob Garvey?
Happy birthday, Rob. I'll be there soon, 27. I will do the ye old Coors Fade Field Nationals -1.5 for you, Rob. And just remember, whoever's play hits and gives you the most money is who loves you the most, Rob.
That's true.
So just remember that. And again, the opposite is also true. Whoever plays costs you the most money and the most emotional distress hates you the most.
That's also true, and I hate that it is true, but it is. It is. I like my unders, Don Play. I know you love unders. I love my unders in today's NHL card. And I got a bunch of them. Which one do I like the most? I mean, that's hard to say. I guess I would. I don't know. I like them all a lot. I got the under 6.5 in Buffalo, Detroit. I got the under 7 in Ottawa, Florida. I have the under 6 in Minnesota, Pittsburgh. And I have the under 6 in LA, Vegas. I like them all a lot. Yes, TransCanada Vancouver is out of the playoffs, mathematically out of the playoffs. Rob Garvey, much love to you, man. Happy birthday and love to your family. Jose Bouquett, tomorrow is Friday. Big day for us. There's going to be a huge card. It's going to be the final giant card of the year because NBA playoffs will start on Tuesday. And then the NHL regular season ends, I believe, next Thursday. So we're going to finally be able to have a bit of a reprieve and focus more on baseball.
Yeah, I can actually become a fan of hockey and basketball now. Go Celtics and Bruins.
Yeah, you got a great team on your hands. Great team.
Yeah, I can actually watch them.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Before Jose puts a bow on this show, I just want to give a thank you to you guys supporting the show. Truly, we have nothing without you, and we feel it building. It's really exciting. Nunya, JW, Don Play, Trans Canada, Rob Garvey, Troy Torrance, A, Yo, D, Bo Jackson, North Ender, Razor Sharp Picks, Fat Wally, Jarek White, of course, Rob Garvey celebrating his 27th birthday with us. D. Jenkins, Dan Kelly, Rick J, Ron Crawford. Thank you guys so much. Lou Chase, Fox, Saturated. Thank you. Nunya. Thank you guys so much for your support. Millsy, Chris Mack. Excited about that new podcast. Very, very exciting with Millsy, Brizzy, and Big Show. Excited about that. Wow, what a battle we fight each and every day. It doesn't end when the show ends. The battle
begins.
The battle never fucking ends. But we'll get a bit of a reprieve once we get to playoffs in NBA and NHL. My man Jose, could you please, and thank you, Jose, for all the hard work you do behind the scenes. I love working with you. Can you please put a bow on this show and take us into the future and bless our action?
I will, of course. Again, thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate you guys. As always, go watch The Walking Dead for your late afternoon baseball, action there. Sharpie, the king of props, NBA Pub Hub as well today. If you feel inclined on betting on that fucking rigged ass sport, basketball, and if you can do high mathematics, that is the sport for you. Everyone, good luck. Leche, a los bookmakers.